season of Cape Cod Baseball League.
For the final time this year, we say hello from Spillane Field, the home of the Wareham Gatemen. It's game 44 out of 44 in the 2023 Cape Cod Baseball League regular season. Here on the leadoff spot, alongside my broadcast partner, Aiden Blanc, Jack Hunter with you. And Aiden, today's the Yadi Red Sox make their way across the bridge for the final regular season game of the year. It's going to be the final game the Gatemen play this year, as they are missing the playoffs this year. Just a lot of appreciation, a lot of gratitude for just what this season was.
Yeah, I think today is going to be about the overarching theme of thank you, of everybody who came to Spillane Field this season, who watched us on the air, and hey, a chance to go out not only with a win, but to spoil some fun for the Red Sox. They need a win and an Orleans loss to get the 1 seed in the postseason.
Well, YD was in first place for 38 days leading up to yesterday, but they lost to Orleans at Red Wilson Field 11-4, and as Aiden mentioned, they need some help tonight, and they need to win here. And it doesn't help them that R.J. Austin and Enzo Apodaca, 2 All-Stars, released today.
Yeah, it happens, and that's why the postseason is pretty much a different season than the regular season. You are losing guys to going back to school, to innings limits. The good managers are able to replace them with, sneaky fines late in the year from other leagues or that just haven't played summer ball, and we're going to see what this YD team is made of. Same kind of thing with Katuitt and some of the other top teams over the next few weeks in the postseason.
Well, YD certainly does have some stars. Still, Hunter Hines has a 1-homer lead and a 1 RBI lead in both of those categories going into the last day of the regular season. Bryson Schaefer on the bump tonight for the Gatemen, trying to control that. Here's a third member of our crew, Amanda Foster, here with the manager's report with Ryan Smythe.
Back on the leadoff spot on the manager's show with Ryan Smythe. And Coach, I have a very important first question for you. Earlier today we were doing intern batting practice and you were batting. Did you mean to hit your sideline reporter in the shin?
You were standing in the wrong place at the wrong time. I was just absolute snap hooking all the balls I was hitting today, so you were just standing in the wrong spot.
That's true.
Did not mean it, though.
All right, good to know. So today, last game of the season, everybody seems pretty relaxed and loose. What do you want to get out of this game?
I want these guys to play hard for one more game. Play the game the right way that we've kind of preached and asked them to do all season long, of which they've done. One more game like that would mean a lot to me.
And now I'm going to do a few rapid-fire fun questions for you. First one, what's your go-to food that you get when you go to a baseball game?
To a baseball game, I mean, I'm a chicken fingers and fries guy. Those are getting really expensive these days with inflation, so maybe the $9 hot dog will bring it down a little bit, but Coke and a hot dog.
And drink of choice when you're in the dugout coaching?
Any kind of seltzer water.
Any flavor?
Occasionally a Coke if I'm really needing an extra little pick-me-up. But lemon, lime, I like coconut. Any of those are good.
Do you have any pregame rituals or superstitions, I guess?
Not really. Other than the citronella candle that we've been lighting up before the games just because of the mosquitoes. That's kind of been the only thing we've done. Other than that, no, not really.
And if you could have dinner with one baseball player, alive or dead, who would you want it to be and why?
Yogi Berra.
Why?
He's won a ton of championships, and to pick his brain on how do you win that many, I feel like that'd be an awesome conversation. And a guy that played a position when gear and equipment wasn't helpful to the player. To see all the nicks and bumps and bruises that he had to go through back then, I feel like any old-time baseball player, those conversations would be, priceless. So Yogi Berra for me.
All right, great answer, Coach. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Curry College is where you go to become anything you want. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers with learning beyond the classroom. Explore our offerings, including new programs in brain and cognitive science, business analytics, coaching, forensic investigations, marketing, and transformative justice. Check us out online at curry.edu.
T-Mobile is proud to sponsor the Cape Cod Baseball League. T-Mobile believes that when small towns thrive, America thrives. That's why they're investing billions to bring fast, reliable, and affordable wireless service beyond the big cities to small towns across America. There's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit T-Mobile.com/acrossamerica to find out more.
Back on the leadoff spot, the last time we will go around the league here on the Gateman Baseball Network. Aiden and Jack with you. The game I'm looking at tonight, Falmouth and Catuit. I think you may be looking at the Western Division final there between those two teams. And then Aiden, today on the slate, mostly divisional matchups. This one's the only interleague matchup. What are you looking at?
Yeah, the only ones that quote-unquote matter in terms of could change playoff positioning are this game right here and then Orleans. Orleans is in control of their own destiny. They'll play Chatham tonight. It's also very interesting for Wareham because if Chatham wins and Wareham loses, Chatham via the tiebreaker will finish higher than Wareham. Wareham will go back-to-back seasons with the worst record in the league. All Wareham has to do is win or get Chatham to lose, and you'll be all set there. But as far as playoff seeding goes, Orleans needs to win. If they lose and YD wins, the Red Sox back in that number one spot.
Once again, here's Amanda.
I'm here with Yadi Hernandez, and Yadi, today is the final game of for the Gatemen this season. You've been here from the very beginning. How are you feeling about the season overall?
I mean, it's not what we wanted. Obviously, we wanted to play in the playoffs and win the championship, but, God had other plans. And we're just all grateful, honestly, to just be here in the Cape and playing in the Cape, so for sure.
For you personally, what has this experience meant?
Oh, it meant a lot. I mean, I've learned a lot of ups and downs and all. It's been a roller coaster, but it's part of the process, and it taught me a lot of that. Number one is I belong here. I can do this, and this is what I do. Just got to keep going at it, though.
Do you feel like you've gotten what you wanted out of being out here this summer?
Oh, no, for sure. I mean, still a lot more in the tank, a lot more I got to work on, a lot more to improve, but it's a process, and just being here and, seeing it I could do it, it's just one of the steps towards I need to take, though, for sure.
When you reflect on this summer, what's going to stand out the most, do you think?
Wow, that's a good question. Just sticking with it. It's been a long one. Every day just going at it. Not once I gave up. None of that negatives. I mean, of course, not negative stuff came up mentally naturally, but just going at it every day, showing up, going to work, and it's just been an everyday process. So for sure.
And one fun question: if you could have dinner with any baseball player, alive or dead, who would it be and why?
Wow. Baseball player, alive or dead. Derek Jeter. I just want to see his mindset. For sure, him. So.
All right, great answer. Thank you, Yadi.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be a long-standing supporter of the Cape Cod Baseball League and its contribution to the local economy as a treasured summer attraction. Cape Cod 5 is a community bank serving customers throughout Cape Cod, the islands, and southeastern Massachusetts. Founded in 1855, the bank's mission is to enrich the lives of those it serves while contributing to the health and vitality of its communities. Cape Cod 5 provides a full range of banking solutions, including personal and business banking, residential mortgages, investment management, and trust services.
The Gatemen are proud to partner with Franklin Sports as the official batting gloves of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves courtesy of Franklin. From the Cape League to the big leagues, it's all hands on deck.
We've made it to the end here in the 2023 Cape Cod Baseball League regular season. Welcome to Game 44 of 44 of what has been a great year here at Spillane Field. Alongside my broadcast partner, Aiden, Blanc, Jack Hunter here with you on the Gateman Baseball Network. It's the YD Red Sox and the Wareham Gatemen here on an August evening on a Wednesday night. And Aiden, end of the year, a lot of things to reflect on, and the Gatemen wearing the white jerseys for the first time this year have been a great ball club here at home.
Yeah, they were wearing the white jerseys back in 2018. Some of their greatest moments have come in the white jerseys. Very excited to see those on the final day of the season. Good to be with you one last time. We're going to have more guests than you can possibly count. Pretty much every inning, starting in the third, we're going to have guests. We're going to have some fun. That's what baseball is. That's what the Gateman season has been the last week or so since they've been eliminated. I know we're going to see some fun baseball, and hopefully they can spoil Yarmouth-Dennis' hopes of a 1 seed tonight.
So, wow, the Gatemen are already eliminated from postseason contention. YD has a bit to play for tonight. They were in first place for 38 days until Orleans beat them at their place yesterday by a final score of 11-4. Now, last day of the season here, Orleans is playing Chatham this evening, up 1 point on YD. Yadi owns the tiebreaker, so if Yadi can just get a point advantage on Orleans tonight, they will win the regular season East Division title and be the 1 seed and have home field advantage before the Cape Cod Baseball League playoffs. Bryson Schaefer gets the start for the Gatemen tonight. Around him, it's Grant Sherrod in left field, Bobby Bozer in center, and get Corey Morton in right field. Michael Brooks at third, J.C. Colon at short, Dorian Gonzalez at second, Grant Hussey at first. Yadi Hernandez will be catching the lefty from Coastal Carolina, who's making his first start of the season here in the last game of the year.
Yeah, everybody gets a chance to pitch pretty much tonight. Anybody who's hot is getting in this game. You're going to see a whole bunch of pitchers and hopefully the best of the Wareham pitching staff to finish out.
Schaefer's last appearance was his only win of the year. It was a good win here versus the Cotuit Cavaliers. He pitched 2 innings out of the bullpen, gave up 1 hit. He's been working on a lot of things over the course of the summer. And for the Yadi Red Sox, Scott Pigler's ball club with some bad news today. R.J. Austin, their star player, got hurt yesterday and has been released from the team. He's been their best player this year. So they will lead things off with Skylar King, Ryan Stafford, and Braden Montgomery to follow. Hunter Hines, Doug Gleed, and Brady Day make up the middle of the order, with Ryan Jackson, Greg Basso, and Theo Hardy rounding it out. Still a star-studded club, but just down an all-star in R.J. Austin and down another all-star in Enzo Apodaca as well. The West Virginia Mountaineers, Skylar King steps in, and Schaefer right at 6 o'clock on the dot deals a first pitch that's looped over his head. Cologne ranging over, can't get it out of his glove in time. It's a leadoff single for Skylar King, and we're off.
How fitting is it that the first batter of the last game is a Mountaineer, given how many Mountaineers we've seen come through here. You've seen Keegan Allen, Aiden Major, Grant Hussey, the last one still here playing at first tonight. Of course, Landon Wallace went and got signed by the Angels. Wareham has kind of been Morgantown East this summer.
Here's Ryan Stafford, the catcher from Cal Poly. Quick pick back to first. King back in there. Game time temperature 74 degrees. A slight wind here today. Not many clouds in the sky. Umpires, J.C. Fernandez behind the plate, Jeff Merzel at first, and Robert Melms at third. First pitch to Ryan Stafford misses high and out. Stafford had a season-high 4 hits yesterday. Hits were not the problem for the Red Sox. They out-hit Orleans 13-12, but they left 14 guys on base and lost 11-4. It's been a big issue for the Red Sox over the last 10 games as they slowly lost their lead, as teams having big innings against them and Yadi not able to have a big inning of their own. They're 5-5 in their last 10. Schaefer, your regularly scheduled pickoff of a runner. Cologne's going to run him to Hussey, and Hussey tags his teammate out and will slap him on the backside.
He's got one heck of a pickoff move. It's going to be missed by Wareham.
So 1 out, Stafford still remains on the bases. Stafford was playing every once in a while for Steve Pickler's club before he left and made Team USA. He's been a baller for him ever since he's gotten back. Confidence, a powerful thing, the rising junior. Awaiting the 2-1, and it misses just inside. He went 7 for 15 at the 4-game inter-squad series, the USA training camp, and then played under his Cal Poly head coach Larry Lee for Team USA against Chinese Taipei, and he works a walk.
Right fielder number 15, Braden Montgomery from
Stafford ended up going 3 for 14 in those USA competitions, both against Chinese Taipei and Japan. Here's Braden Montgomery, the Stanford Cardinal. A guy that Scott Pickler's going to need to step up here, losing some star power. You turn to a guy that was the Pac-12 Rookie of the Year in 2022. Montgomery, a two-way guy, awaiting the 1-0 from Schaefer. And he takes it just high in the zone. So J.C. Fernandez calling a tight balls and strike zone so far this evening. Bryson Schaefer pitched his freshman year in 2021 at Polk State College in Florida. Pitched 2022 at South Florida State College. And then this past year, debuting for the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina. Meeting over, ground ball left side, and it escapes the glove of Brooks and sneaks into left field. Braden Montgomery, who went 2 for 4 yesterday, gets his first knock here in the first, and now steps Hunter Hines. The team's got motivations today to get the 1 seed, and Hunter Hines has some individual motivations himself. He's currently first in the league with 12 homers, and first in the league in the RBI category as well. And he pops the first pitch up. He's going to have to wait till his next at-bat to improve upon it. Colon at the edge of the infield. Infield fly is the call for the second out.
Schaefer, a guy, as you can tell, that's not always going to put balls away. He's, balls are going to come and play when he's on the mound, very much like his Coastal Carolina teammate, Wareham teammate, Riley Eichhoff. You have to have a good defense behind him.
So Hines has a 1 homer and 1 RBI advantage, 12 and 43 over Cole Mathis, who's sitting at 11 and 42. So something to watch tonight. Doug Gleed to the plate, and he takes a breaking ball down and in. Schaefer is moving from east to west, coming home. As a lot of his pitches do the same thing. Sinker, slider, curveball, changeup. As you can tell, he relies on a lot of deception, hiding the ball behind that back leg. The pitch to Gleed, pumped out of play. Gleed has been a light hitter for YD all year from UC Irvine. He's only hitting 168. He's appeared a few times against Wareham, went 0 for 3 in his last matchup, and in total is 0 for 9 across 3. And he stays alive. Good crowd here on hand. It's the last home game and last game of the year for the Gatemen. We look forward to celebrating the 2023 campaign with you here tonight. A lot of guests coming up soon. Gleed poking the breaking ball back. Schaefer looking Stafford back at second and yanks it inside. If Wareham wants to get a win tonight, they're in a good spot to do it. After finishing their road schedule last night at 2-18-2, they return home where they've been pretty solid, 13-8. And Gleed fouls back his 3rd straight pitch. Good at bat here for the UC Irvine Anteater. A slider from Schaefer, who's been working on getting his arm a little lower as well, just fueling to the deception. Here comes the 2-2. Fisted to third. Brooks has it, and that'll do it for the Red Sox in the first inning. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left at the end of 1/2 inning. It's YD 0 and the Gatemen coming up next on the Gateman Baseball Network.
Our title sponsor of the 100-year anniversary is Baseball Cloud, data that tells the whole story. This season, Baseball Cloud pays homage to the past while building the future. Their technology will help tell the story of the next 100 years of Cape Cod Baseball League history, inspiring and exciting the next generation of baseball players and fans. Learn how to bring the most accurate data and analytics to your organization by visiting baseballcloud.com.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle empty bottles, cans, and other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
The Gatemen coming up for the first time here in the bottom of the first on a beautiful evening from Spillane Field, facing the Georgia Gwinnett Grizzly, Gage Williams. Here's how they'll line up against him. Bobby Bozer, Dorian Gonzalez, and Grant Sherry getting things started. Grant Hussey, Michael Brooks, and Garen Caulfield in the middle three. And then Corey Morton, Yadi Hernandez, and J.C. Cologne facing Williams, who's new to this YD ball club and is looking to add on to a solid start he had in his last outing. He's pitching in his third game today, his first start. He's got through 7 innings, 6 earned runs. Georgia Gwinnett and NAIA school. He went 10-1 across 13 starts in his first year starting for the Grizzlies in just south of 79 innings. Williams throwing a fastball in the high 80s to low 90s, an occasional changeup, and a curveball to accompany it. He's standing tall on the mound at 6'5". The Suffolk, Virginia native comes home, and Bozer fouls it away, and we're off in the bottom of the first.
And Jack, who better to lead off in the final game of the summer than the guy that led off in the first game of the summer? Bobby Bozer, what an amazing player he has developed into over these last couple of months. Nobody better to be batting leadoff in the final game of the season.
Fouled just over the fence, separating some families of coaches and diehard fans.
And his daughter, Tennis.
It's the Walks King, Bobby Bozer, who's out in front in the Cape Cod Baseball League with those 31 walks. And he takes ball 1. And it's been in a lot of plate appearances like this. Get behind early and just fight, and fight some more. Williams just misses the outside corner. Gage Williams, in his last appearance versus Katuitt on July 25th, gave the Red Sox 6 innings out of the bullpen after a lousy start. He surrendered 10 hits, 5 earned runs. Now a full count to Bobby. Shoots one right side. A nice stop by Day at second. On the run, fires to lead at first for the first out. So Bozer gets down 0-2, works it back to a full count. But Williams retires Bozer and gets his first batter here in his first start. Here is Dorian Gonzalez. First pitch misses just a tad inside. Dorian, reflecting on this summer, has said you try to come here to get better, and for him to get better this summer is a great experience for him. He's ending the season on his best note. He's currently holding on to a 9-game hitting streak with 1 more hit today. Can make it 10. He was hitting just 188 before his hitting streak started, and is now hitting 240 on the dot. He fouls one off of the catcher, Basso. Ryan Stafford in left for the Whitey Red Sox. Skylar King in center, and then Montgomery in right with Hardy, Jackson, Day, and Gleed from left to right across the infield. And then Greg Basso behind the plate. Gage Williams on the mound, fires the 1-2. It bleeds high. So another deep count. The pitch. Cut and miss. High fastball retires Dorian.
Left fielder, number 4, Grant Sherrod from South Carolina, upstate.
Sherrod steps in with 2 outs in the inning. Scoreless ball game. And Williams turns one outside. Gage Williams will turn 24 in September. He's had a lengthy college career. Spent his first 2 years at Longwood University in Farmville, Virginia, inside his home state, or Commonwealth, I should say, in Suffolk. His second year, riddled by COVID in 2020, his season cut short. Then transferring to Georgia Gwinnett, his first year there in 2021, out of the bullpen, they win the NAIA National Championship. He's been there for 2 more additional seasons. Sherrod swings through a 2-0 fastball. Hard hit to short, but Ryan Jackson up with it. A high throw, gets cleat on his tippy toes, but he's got it for a 1-2-3 inning. Good start for Gage Williams. To the second we go, scoreless ball game here from Spillane. The Gatemen looking snazzy in the white uniforms tonight. They're debuting him for the first time this year. And for more on the new look, here's our sideline reporter, Amanda Foster.
Well, guys, if you may have noticed, the Wareham Gatemen are wearing different jerseys today for their final game. They're wearing their home whites, which they haven't worn at all this year, not really something that the team has done at all. The reason behind them wearing them today, apparently, is Renee Lastris. Apparently, he was the guy who kind of brought up this idea, said he really wanted to wear these jerseys. He talked to Ryan Smythe about it. Smythe sent a message in the team group me so they could all vote. The message was sent at 9 in the morning this morning, so not all of the guys saw it before they woke up, so not everybody could vote. But the white jerseys were overwhelming majority, and the guys are wearing them now. They're excited to wear them for the final game, even if they can do it just once. It's a unique experience that they can all share, and they're having a bunch of fun taking pictures and everything before the game. Guys?
Thanks, Amanda. I think the jerseys look great. It's a question for the players of how they feel. I was telling Jimmy Brennan before the game, Jimmy, that jersey looks great. And he goes, well, I'm going to have to get you one then if you can wear it throughout the game and see how you feel. Just a little heavier, but it may be worth the discomfort. Brady Day steps in. The Kansas State Wildcat takes ball 1 inside. Jackson and Basso to follow for Scott Pickler's ball club. Yarmouth-Dennis looking to regain the 1 seed and win the Eastern Division crown in the regular season. They held the 1 spot for the last 38 days, but Orleans took it from them last night as Schaefer misses down and away. With a win tonight and an Orleans loss or an Orleans tie, they can retake that 1 seed going into the playoffs. Schaefer falling behind 3 balls and no strikes. A similar thing happened to YD last year. They went 2-7 in their last 9 games and lost the 1 seed. Trying to avoid more of the same here. Day's going to have to hold up and come back. Strike 1 called. And now he can trot to first. It's a leadoff walk for Day, and that'll bring up Ryan Jackson.
Shortstop, number 6, Ryan
Jackson, one of the many talented hitters on this YD ball club who are very well balanced. They hit the ball well, pitch the ball well. There's not too many categories where they find themselves near the bottom of the league. Jackson hitting .321 in this young Cape Cod Baseball League season. The first pitch he sees sails high and out. Schaefer trying to fight back, pump strike 1 across. Ryan Jackson hitting in 9 out of his last 11 games. Scalds 1 to short, and it gets by Cologne. Trickles into shallow left field as he can't find it. Day will advance to third. Runners on the corners. The error from Cologne.
Catcher number 14, Greg Bozzo from Northeastern.
Greg Bozzo from Northeastern now to the plate. This is his debut for the Yadi Red Sox, and what a game to be making your debut in. It's the last regular season game, a lot of implications, and then the playoffs start later this weekend. But it's not like he's not been doing anything this summer. He played in 23 games for the Keene Swamp Bats, hit .266 for the NECBL Ball Club. And fouls the first pitch he sees back to the screen.
Yeah, and you're going to see a lot of NECBL guys start to come. The playoffs are going on for them right now, so anybody who didn't make the playoffs, all their players are available, and a lot of these playoff teams will make those calls.
Slider misses just a tad inside. Schaefer likes to pitch backwards if he can, or really just mix his stuff well. He's not going to blow you away with his fastball too many times, but relies on deception. Slow roller to short. Redemption time for Cologne, who flips to second. That's the only out they will get. The first run comes across the plate. It's Brady Day, and it's 1-0 YD. So Greg Bozzo does his job in his first trip to the plate, an RBI fielder's choice.
Theo Hardy from San Jose State.
Here's Theo Hardy. Gets some signs from the skipper down there, Scott Pickler, coaching third. And that first pitch fastball across for a strike. The expectation is for Schaefer to go about 3 innings tonight. He is pretty stretched out and has started many a time in his collegiate career, but has come out of the bullpen here for Wareham. Nice fastball on the inside corner for strike 2. Hardy in the 9-hole. Cracks one through the middle of base hit. And now YD turns the lineup over with 2 men on base with just 1 out.
Center fielder number 22, Skylar King from West Virginia.
Back to the top, Skylar King. This is his second game he's played in for YD. We're talking about Bozzo making his debut. King went 2 for 5 in the bottom of the lineup yesterday. He shows bunt and pegs the slider back to the fence. King did not play very much for West Virginia this past year in his freshman year, but got some good run in the Appy League this year at .293 for the Elizabethton River Riders. He singled but then got picked off in the first, so he's now 3 for 6 in his young tenure. And sends one back of us.
Another guy with summer collegiate experience. I think that's the best place to go right now if you're a coach needing players for the postseason. You get guys that are just coming off seasons. They're still warm and hot and eager to play in the Cape League.
Slow roller on the other side of the line at first. We'll do the 1-2 pitch again momentarily.
You can also do a little bit of testing for next season. Joshua Kuroda-Grauer came over from the NECBL last year. He's been a big part with Bourne this year. A good chance to kind of do a makeshift tryout, if you will, to sign maybe a guy to a permanent deal next season.
1-2, en route, and it misses outside. Skylar King also stole 20 out of the 23 bases he tried to take in the Appy League this summer across 31 games, so good candidate here in the leadoff spot to do some damage. And he looks at ball 3. Schaefer wanted it, just couldn't get it back to the outside corner. JC Fernandez behind the plate has been calling a tight zone thus far for both sides. He loops one over the head of Cologne and into center field. Basso had to make sure it got down, so everybody just advances 90 feet, but Yadi now with the bases loaded. Hasn't been a ton of hard contact, but Yadi has just strung together hits here and there, waiting for the big blow, and Ryan Stafford's going to be the one to try and do it. And he skies the first one out of play. Dribbled at the plate. Hernandez says it's a fair ball. He steps on home plate and fires to first for a double play. To the immediate protest of the entire YD dugout, the home plate umpire, J.C. Fernandez, calling it fair. And Pickler is quick to discuss it with Fernandez, but as of now, that's a double play that's going to end the inning. He's arguing that Jeff Merzel, the field umpire, first put the hands up for a foul ball. And now they will put the hands up to call time to confer on this. So we'll stay here just for a second. If you're writing in pen in the scorebook, maybe don't write anything down yet.
If it stays, is that just 2 to 3?
That's right. A 2 to 3 double play,
How about that? How often do you see that? An excellent awareness by Yadi behind the dish to close it out.
A 2 to 3 double play. It's the first time we've seen that this summer. It's going to turn it over to the bottom of the second. YD gets 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, and 2 left. 1-0 Yarmouth-Dennis as we move along here on the Gateman Baseball Network. An odd play ends the YD threat in the top of the second. A ball hit right over home plate. Hernandez fielded it in fair territory, according to J.C. Fernandez, stepped on home and then fired to first. A 2-3 double play ends YD's threat in the top of the second. Here in the bottom, Grant Hussey leads off and takes a cut and a miss through a first pitch curveball from Gage Williams. Williams could be a guy that YD relies upon in the postseason as Hussey swings through another one. Now the mega shift coming on. Hardy's going to move over on the other side of second. Brady Day is out there in right field. And Hussey says shift that. He sends a fly ball high and deep to right center field. Montgomery is going to catch it in front of the wall for the first out. He just missed it.
Good club on it. Good start to his night. Put a really good swing on that baseball.
Hit it 97 miles an hour off the bat, according to our friends at TrackMan. He hit it almost 360 feet, but just short of that right center field scoreboard. 1 down now for Michael Brooks. Brooks grounds one up the middle for a base hit. So some loud contact here for the Gatemen in their second inning, seeing Gage Williams.
Designated hitter number 20.
1 down now for Garen Caulfield. Caulfield's been one of the most consistent guys on this team. He's playing in his 26th game, 26 hits and 90 at-bats. With a few knocks tonight, can start rubbing a little bit towards 300. He's been bobbing up and down close to the number all year. He takes ball 1 down. Gage Williams talking about how he could be an asset in the playoffs. Well, he had a 3.65 ERA as Caulfield nails him in the back. A hard line drive. Guerin is going to get pegged out at first. A nice rebound by the shortstop, Ryan Jackson. But let's see how Williams reacts to 81 off the back. A 1-6-3 putout.
Yeah, I was just about to say, score 1-6-3. He gets credited with an assist there.
So Williams 10-1 with that 3.65 ERA this past year. Had 3 complete games. He's going to stay in the game.
Right fielder number 53, Corey Morton from UConn.
Here's Corey Morton now with 2 outs, and the runner Brooks moving to second off of the last line drive. Morton just 2 for 27. And the first pitch gets away from Basso. Brooks moving down to third, now just 90 feet away. Georgia Gwinnett in a new conference this year, the Continental Athletic Conference. Williams was on the all-tournament team selection. Had a 14 strikeout shutout against Fisher College this year on March 10th, and recorded 214 strikeouts across his career in just shy of 170 innings. He just completed his 5th season of college baseball. His first 2 were not very heavy baseball-wise at Longwood. Hitters count for Corey Morton with Brooks dangling off third. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. And Corey, thinking about occupying first base, is going to have to reset himself here. Still has a good count. Trying to equalize this game. And he'll move the line now to Hernandez.
Great at bat by Morton. Late addition to this roster. Has only been here for about 2 weeks. Hasn't hit the ball very well, but he's made his impact in other ways. He had that great throw to beat Harwich out from right field. And he's able to draw a good at bat there with a walk.
Here's one of the 3 original Wareham Gatemen, alongside Bobby Bozer and Will Koger. Yadi Hernandez. He takes a home run hack and swings and misses at the first pitch.
Another guy who was here from game 1, Jeff Merzell.
He was the home plate umpire in game 1. He's the first base ump tonight, a 2021 Cape Umpire of the Year. Hernandez headed to Missouri next year, and that pickoff throw headed over to first base. Yadi has been on the 3 RBI total for a while. Looking to get number 4, maybe even more here. Runner goes. Morton was trying to get stuck in between first and second, but Basso's not playing the game, so Corey will scamper to second. Now 2 ducks on the pond. J.C. Cologne is on deck in the 9-hole. And Williams works his way out of it. Hernandez goes down swing. That'll do it for the Gatemen in the bottom of the second. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left. To the third we go, 1-0 YD. Welcome back here to the top of the third from Spillane Field alongside Aiden Blanc and our special guest for the inning, Associate GM Tommy Sembinos. Tommy, thanks for joining us here in Game 44.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate the opportunity to come out and speak a little bit.
First pitch to Montgomery, skied just short of the Whitey dugout. So, Tommy, first you want to tell us what your job, I know there's a lot of things it entails, but you want to give us maybe the main things that you do up here in Wareham?
Sure. I mean, view me as a director of operations for the Wareham Gatemen. Kind of help out Bob a little bit with the front office tasks we got. Help out our guys on the equipment spot. Just basically an extra hands here, helping out Coach Smythe, and happy to be here. I love my opportunity here.
Braden Montgomery fouls one back. What's your favorite part of the job?
Getting to meet so many cool players, and there's great people with our players and in our organization, and I fully support the direction Wareham Gatemen are going in.
Schaefer just misses off the outside corner.
Your second season here. Biggest changes from year 1 to year 2?
Definitely head coach and the player experience. I mean, I think all of our players will tell you they got better this year, and they all had a great time. I mean, I know we're not in first place in the standings, but our players are still playing hard every day. And ultimately, if you got players like that are still rallying behind a coach, then you're going to be successful in this league. And
called strike 3 gets Montgomery looking for out number 1. What is the biggest thing you've learned over your 2 summers here? Maybe about the game or about just the industry in general, or maybe about yourself?
How humbling it is to be out here. I mean, we got great people, and I owe a lot to the people that have kind of put me in this spot. And I'm 23 years old and the associate GM for a team in the Cape. That's really, really special and humbling. And I owe it all to Andrew Lang, Brad Owens, Coach Backage, Coach Lee. I mean, there's tons of people that really helped me get out here, and I love it out here.
You work very closely with the Clemson baseball team, kind of a similar role. How did that prepare you for a job out here?
I mean, it's very similar. Run the equipment out there, too. Set up field for BP. And we got a great manager staff at Clemson. It's not just all me. And I would say it helped me out here. And then this job out here helped me get back to be better for Clemson there, too. So
Hines is going to take one in the ribs. He'll take first base. One out here in the top of the third. Associate GM Tommy Sembinos with us up here in the booth. And Tommy, what's maybe the most random thing you've had to do with your job this year that maybe you didn't think was going to be in your job description?
I would say I kind of knew what I was getting myself into. I mean, this year it was very much been here, done that, but it was a great learning experience for me too. I wouldn't say I was surprised by anything this summer, but I was very surprised with how awesome the people in this organization are. I mean, kind of getting in a little bit more of an elevated role, you really get to meet a lot more people that this summer than compared to last summer, and that was my biggest surprise, was how awesome the people here are.
Dub Gleed at the plate. He's 0 for 1. Popped out to Michael Brooks at third in this first at-bat, facing a 1-2 count. Hunter Hines at first base. And a pitch just off of the outside corner.
Do you have a favorite moment of the summer?
I mean, riding in the games with Coach Smythe's car are pretty fun. I mean, we talk about some cool stuff, and it's great for me to learn from Ryan and what he has to offer, and he's great for the organization. I love him, and I think he's going to win here.
What's the playlist like in his car?
It varies. I mean, there's sometimes where I feel like it's very loose and kind of like, I wouldn't say party-ish, but it's very hop, bump around kind of stuff. And then it's country. We kind of go all over the place.
3-2. This time it clocks the net. So Dub Gleed is getting the Bat Girls and Bat Boys and Cody Doyle and Ryan Smythe over there staying away.
But we stop at gas stations almost every road game and just ask Ryan what his favorite whoopie pie is. And we tried the peanut butter one today.
Second straight batter hit. Gleed is going to flip the bat and take first base. So how is the peanut butter one?
We reviewed it as not as good as the maple one, but still pretty good. We're not too high on the vanilla one, and the traditional is probably in the mix too.
Do you like the ones that we have here? We had them tonight for post-game meal.
I mean, what I'll tell you is those are extremely good whoopie pies, but if I'm going to get a whoopie pie, I'm looking for the artificial kind of flavor, and you just can't beat a whoopie pie from a gas station. You just can't beat it.
Brady Day now standing in, the Kansas State Wildcat. Walked and scored to lead off the second inning. Lefty Bryson Schaefer deals a strike to him.
Do you have a favorite player that you've seen the last 2 years? Or is that like making you pick a favorite kid?
Well, I mean, I got to go to my guy Blake Wright at Clemson. I mean, he was one of our shortstops here last summer, and he was one of the very few players that was game 1 to 44.
Day punches one left center field, and Whitey will take a 2-0 lead as the ball scampering around in the infield. Hines coming around to score. Gleed advancing to second, and Day has an RBI single. What's that experience been like for you, seeing some Clemson guys up here? Obviously, it's a big baseball program, so you're going to see a lot of guys up here. What's it like reuniting with some of the guys you spent a lot of time with in the spring?
Oh, it's cool. I mean, it's humbling. I mean, I see them every day at school, and knowing that they're going to get an opportunity to play in the Cape Cod League, it doesn't get much better than that. We had Casey Town this past summer, 2 starts. He was fantastic to have come up here. Blake Wright was game 1 to 44 in 2022 Gateman. Excited to have him back on the Clemson roster for this next season, and hopefully Wareham Gatemen can get some more Clemson players.
Ryan Smythe meeting with Bryson Schaefer out on the mound, 1 out here in the third inning. Tommy Sambinos, Associate General Manager, joining us here. As Whitey has a 2-0 lead in the last game of the year. Has this given you an idea of maybe what you want to do going forward?
I want to be a director of operations one day, and I ultimately want to be a collegiate athletics AD. I would say that's what I'm really shooting for, and I got to get really good at financial aspects of college athletics. I know that. It's kind of why I'm out here, really trying to get familiar with budgets and expense reports and all that kind of part of the business on a very, very small scale. So it's a great learning experience for me with that.
Yeah, for those who don't know, you're responsible for making sure everybody pays their rent, for getting
part of it.
in control of the stipends. All of that stuff has become kind of part of your job too.
Yep, and Jim's awesome. Jim's our treasurer. He's great to work with. He's really easy. Never asked me questions about reimbursements, receipts, or who to pay, when to pay. And we have a great working relationship, and he's a good one here. I love him too.
First pitch to Ryan Jackson across for a strike. Jackson reached on an error, got stranded on second in the second inning.
We're big fans of Jim.
Yep, Jim's great.
We got some good merch. He helped us out with our stipends.
Yep, Jim's
we're very pro Jim McKiernan on this broadcast.
It's hard not to be pro Jim in this organization. I mean, you gotta love Jim.
He's down there right now selling his shirts and getting all the merch done.
0-2 just misses outside. What's it like being in a Cape front office these days with where the league is at, where guys are coming and going, and you're staying a little bit busier in all times of the year with a constant stream of players headed in and out?
That was definitely the biggest adjustment for us as staff, was guys leaving, and you expect turnover, and I don't think anyone in the league expected the kind of turnover the league saw. But what I'll say is we got a Wareham Gatemen guy as president, Andrew Lang, and I have full faith in him run the league, and I'm sure all the managers will get together and Andrew will talk and figure out a way to kind of reduce the turnover a little bit.
2-2 hit and run attempts, and both runners are going to have to retreat. I know you're obviously not president, you're not calling the shots, but do you think there's any big moves that the league does need to make, or even just small ones that the league needs to make to go forward to try to stop this from happening?
I don't know if my 23-year-old very humble opinion is one to call for change in the Cape Cod League, but what my opinion will say is Andrew Lang is definitely the right guy for the role he's in, and whatever changes he feels the league has to make, I support them and really trust him with that.
Now full count. Lead on second, Day on first. Schaefer comes home, and it's shot right side, out of play. Last game of the year here from Spillane Field. Wareham at 15-26-2. YD trying to get back into the 1 seed in the East. Down 1 point to Orleans. Runners go. Ground ball to short. Cologne up with it. To first he goes for the second out.
How about JC? What a great pickup he was. He struggled a little at third when they started playing him, but they moved him to short, and it seemed to really, really work out for him.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy where he just needs more reps at short, and we had Murillo here for a good portion of the season, and Murillo was playing really well for us, but once Murillo had to go home for some personal stuff, JC's really filled that role in great.
What's it been like for you to see a lot of these guys, not just JC, but I'm looking at Dorian on the other side, Grant Hussey, guys that you can see for sure have gotten a lot better this summer?
Yeah, I mean, there we go.
Line to short.
I mean, that's what the Cape's about. The Cape's all about development. It's all about getting guys better, and, that's something that I feel like we did a good job here.
All right, that's Tommy Simbinos, Associate GM, joining us here in the top of the third. YD gets 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left. Tommy, thanks for joining us
thanks
here.
for having me, guys.
All right, bottom of the third we go, 2-0 YD.
Is proud to sponsor the Cape Cod Baseball League. T-Mobile believes that when small towns thrive, America thrives.
Welcome back here. What you've all been waiting for, the Wareham Community Television Player of the Year is Bobby Bozer from South Florida. So congratulations to Bobby, who is on deck. He is our WCTV Player of the Year. I want to take this time to thank all of the people at Wareham Community Television who night in, night out here at home have worked very hard to make our broadcasts what they are this year. J.C. Cologne getting a curveball in there for strike one. I truly believe that our TV productions are one of the top, if not the top in the league. So being able to appreciate what those guys and girls downstairs do for us here at home, so big here on the last night of the season. We can't thank them enough. And their Player of the Year, Bobby Bozer, the Walks King.
Yeah, and I think not a lot of people at home, especially those that are maybe watching us, from other states and don't get to the games, understand exactly how big of a production this is for them. They're showing up about 90 minutes minimum before first pitch. They usually bring at least 7 or 8 folks. They're all setting up equipment, and, usually things don't work either on our end or their end.
Cologne barrels one to left, a leadoff single for JC in the 9-hole. He's wanting second. The throw is going to beat him by a mile, and he's down for out number 1. So a good start takes a bad turn.
Well, as I was saying, they're usually bringing 7 people. They're here nice and early.
Number 6, Bobby Bozer,
Most of them have
Florida.
families. So we should thank all of them. They've been on the road twice with us this year, if you're counting Mass Maritime and Polar Park. It is a not a small feat to get these 22 games on the air this year.
First pitch on the outside corner to Bobby, and we got you the summary, I guess, of how Bobby is going to be the Walks King in the Cape Cod Baseball League this year. He's sitting on 31. Second place, by the way, is Joe Oyama, who has 24. So I don't think Joe's going to walk 7 times tonight. So congratulations, Bobby. And it's a testament to his play this year, where he started off really struggling and then just started to turn things around, striking out less, getting on base any way he can, and just being a big team player. And he jams one to left. Coming in, Stafford, he's got it for the second out.
Second baseman, number 17, Dorian Gonzalez from Miami.
Talking about the people at WCTV, we should also make sure to thank our buddy Christian Fernandez. Christian is the assistant director at WCTV. He's not always here, but he's in charge of logistically, staffing these games, and he met with us before the season to go over our needs, bringing in that new center field camera, which I know everybody appreciates, getting them on the road at Polar Park.
Off the end of the bat, shallow center. King coming on, he's got it for the third out. A 1-2-3, not a traditional 1-2-3 inning, but Gage Williams faces the minimum nonetheless. To the fourth we go, 2-0 YD. Bryson Schaefer's day is done after 3 innings of work. He gives up 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. Quinn Holt, in his second appearance, is going to be the one to replace him for YD. 9-1 and 2 up here in the top of the fourth. We're rolling along here in the last game of the year. And our next guest here on the last broadcast of the year extravaganza is player development intern Jake Fetterman. Jake, thanks so much for joining us here today.
Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
So for all you out there, Jake comes from a broadcasting family. His younger brother is a broadcaster. Maybe he'll be here one day. So Jake has it in the blood. He's a natural. So this is his first time on the headset this year, but we're happy to have him here. We'll start off with the question we asked Tommy. What's your day-to-day like? What are your main responsibilities here?
Yeah, so in player development, my job is mainly to work with data to help players get better. And so every night I compile data from the game before and then just start looking through it to pick up points where something's interesting or to learn about the players. And then the next day I'll tell them about what I've found and then make small suggestions on things that maybe they can try that hopefully might help them improve.
What's it been like working with Brian Greisman, the pitching coach this year?
Oh, Brian's amazing. He's been very helpful in helping me learn about the mechanical side of pitching because I know a lot about the data side, and so I can help from that perspective. But to be able to incorporate mechanics into that allows me to actually help make adjustments because I can't just suggest something and then not really say how to do it. So following around Brian and shadowing him and watching him do his work has really helped me do mine as well.
Theo Hardy hitting from the left side after hitting from the right side his first time. The switch hitter fouls one back. He's 1 for 1, singled in the second inning from San Jose State, playing third base today. Quinn Holt on the mound for the second time this year for the Wareham Gatemen. He pitched in the Polar Park game. The big righty jams Hardy with the fastball. It clanks off of the wooden pole near the Gateman dugout. What's been your favorite part of the summer?
Honestly, all of it. I really like just coming into the games early and just getting a chance to speak with all the players and go over performances and help them track their progress on things. And then I can't just say before the game's the best part because we're here for baseball. I love just watching the games. It's time to relax through the day and see the product of everything that we worked on come together.
So single for Theo Hardy. That'll bring up Skylar King. Go ahead, Aiden.
What are you paying attention to, right now, when you're watching the game, trying to think about, maybe this isn't the greatest example because this is it, but say there's a game tomorrow. What are you looking at right now when you watch the game to think about, making your scouting report tonight?
When I'm watching our own guys, I just try to keep in mind the things that we've talked about over the last few days or the things that I've seen Brian working on with them. So we have some pitchers that are working on adding depth to their changeups or getting more movement on their sliders. And so, for those, I'm just watching the TrackMan and seeing how they're doing with it. And if they're doing well, I'll say, okay, remember that feeling. That's how you got to throw the ball. And if they're not, then I might suggest a new fix.
1-3 sack bunt. Good job by King in his third plate appearance. He'll bring up Cal Poly's Ryan Stafford with a runner on and a runner on second base.
Have the players generally been pretty perceptive to what you have to say when you go to them?
Yes, I'd say almost all of them really want to see their data and want to know a little bit more about what it means. They all know what velocity means and what spin rate means, but they've really done a lot to learn a lot about how their arsenal plays and how the rest of their metrics work. And so, it's really helpful that they all are buying in and, together with Brian and the mechanical work, it creates a blueprint or a partnership that can actually make an impact on pitchers because it works. It comes at it from both sides of not sure the word for it, it comes at it from both sides.
Line out to Hussey at first base. That'll keep Hardy at second. 2 outs in the inning. Another switch hitter, Braden Montgomery, this time hitting from the left side, takes ball 1 down. Who's been the most interesting pitcher personality you've gotten to work with this summer?
Interesting personality. A lot of them have interesting personalities. Jonathan Batista, who left earlier, was really funny. Chance Tequila from Campbell, who also left earlier, was really, really funny. He was fun to work with. Jake Faraday is a good guy to work with, too. Been doing a lot of work with him. They all have their unique personalities, but the first 2 I said have definitely been the funniest.
Montgomery now in a hitter's count. And he'll see one from Holt across for strike one. Jake Fetterman, player development intern with us up here in the booth here on the last day of the season. 3-1, fisted right side into right field, a base hit. Hardy's going to hit the bag at third and come around to score. It is 3-0 Yarmouth-Dennis now after a single from Braden Montgomery, who's now 2 for 3.
Jake, you do work at Penn as well in kind of this area, in the analytical area. Explain, what exactly do you do at school, and how has that, transitioned and given you experience to come here?
Yeah, so at Penn, I work with the basketball and baseball teams in data analytics, so a lot more like scouting reports than actual, a lot more scouting reports than the type of work that I'm doing here. But doing stuff for the college program gave me a head start on seeing what the data might look like and what teams find as valuable. So when I came up here, I can completely, have seen the data before and be ready to use it to make an impact.
Good changeup from Quinn Holt, gets Hines swinging. Even count now after the stolen base from Montgomery. Yadi with 8 hits early on here through 3 2/3 against Gateman pitchers. Hines crushes one to right field. Morton pays it a look. It's the 13th homer of the year from the home run king in the Cape Cod Baseball League this season, and it's 4-0 YD.
You want to give us the analytics on that?
Just a changeup that got destroyed. He's a very good hitter. He hits the ball really hard, and it's just Hunter Hines has really just killed the whole league this year, similar to what he did in college. And he's a tough out for anybody, and so just got the best of Quinn Holt right there.
I feel like everybody or most people up here have kind of this is crazy in terms of baseball competition here, welcome to the Cape League. Was there a moment for you when maybe early on in the season when you saw somebody do something and you were like, I can't believe what I'm looking at right now?
There wasn't a single moment, more just being up here for the first few games. I was in a different league last summer, and then coming up here and seeing all the players, just how good they were right away from the first day, and the fact that I was able to work with them was really crazy to me.
All right, Jake, appreciate having you on. YD gets 2 runs across here. It's 4-0 as we go now to the bottom of the 4th.
Thank you so much.
So YD strikes 3 times in the top of the 4th, and they're up 5-0 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Sherrod, Hussey, and Brookstew up. The Gatemen have been quiet offensively. The YD Red Sox not so much. Sherrod takes the first pitch down. But if Hunter Hines needed to worry about creating any separation from Cole Mathis today, that's a good way to do it, a 2-run shot in the 4th. 10 hits for the Sox, and that's the 3rd batter that's gotten hit here today as Wareham hit 2 in the 3rd, and now Sherrod takes 1.
First base,
a leadoff base runner.
Grant Hussey from West Virginia.
Here's Grant Hussey. Hussey's had a season full of extra base hits and big moments as well. 2 grand slams on the year. He's hitting .275, 4 homers, and 31 RBIs. He takes it outside. Hussey coming into today, tied for third in the league in runs batted in with Travis Bazana, Mathis, and Hines ahead of him. And he waves and misses, set a fastball on the outside corner.
Hussey put a good swing on that first ball. You know he's thinking, do the same thing, just get it a little bit longer. You know, he just watched Hunter Hines crush one over the right field wall, trying to do the same thing, I'm sure.
Gage Williams in his 4th inning of work. He's through 3+. He's now allowed 2 hits and hit a batter. He's also walked a batter. The righty from Suffolk, Virginia, deals a fastball down. So we've had Tommy Simbinos, Jake Fetterman on so far. That's Associate GM Tommy Simbinos and Player Development Intern Jake Fetterman. Some more guests coming your way as we wrap the season up here. And Hussey takes ball 4. 2 runners on now. The Gatemen with something brewing here in the 4th.
Great at bat. Again, Hussey probably came up thinking, I want to crush one. So to show that patience, you know, that's why he's most likely playing pro ball at some point in his career. Because he can go up there thinking, yeah, I would love to hit one out to right, but I'm also not going to give him any free pitches.
Brooks takes ball 1 outside. I think the favorite Michael Brooks story we haven't told this year is that coming into his first year at Kansas, he pledged to donate $20 for every hit he had in the year to the Lawrence Schools Foundation in Lawrence, Kansas, where the University of Kansas is, to provide school supplies for teachers and students, and ended up donating over $1,100 out of his own pocket to the Lawrence Schools Foundation. An incredible feat. He said he was inspired by his mom, who spent most of her career as a teacher in South Florida, an area where he is from. And it really caught on at the end of the year. Not only did it catch on because he had a slow start and then had a red-hot stretch to end the season. He had 40 hits in his last 27 games and hit almost 400 in that stretch since March 31st. But people pledged to match it. So the foundation at the end of the year received about $5,000 from Brooks and then people who wanted to support Michael. And what a contribution for Michael, who was playing in his first year for the University of Kansas, had not been to Lawrence or not lived in Lawrence before then, but yet wanting to make an impact in the local school system and investing in education. The school district ended up making signs and posters and hung them in the dugout one day to his surprise and caught him off guard. So that's Wareham's own, and Kansas is Michael Brooks, who takes ball 2 down. All 8 of Michael Brooks' home runs came in his last 21 games of the season. Really started to get comfortable as the year went on, playing in the Big 12. And he takes the 2-0 on the outside corner. A nice changeup, low spinning from Gage Williams at 1,600 RPMs. 2 runners on, a hit batter and a walk. Have the Gatemen looking to storm back here, down 5-0 against Yadi. Fouled off just back of the batter's circle. In case you're just joining us, first of all, welcome. Second of all, Yadi needs a win in either an Orleans loss or tie tonight to reclaim the 1 seed in the East, a spot they held for 38 days. But after today is going to be where it really matters, because this is the last regular season game of the 2023 season. Brooks pops one up on the infield. Finger goes up from the first base umpire, Jeff Merzell, and an infield fly as Gleed snags it for the first out.
Designated hitter number 20, Garen Caulfield from Arizona.
Here's Garen Caulfield. Garen is about to complete his first season in the Cape, and what a season it was for him. He was an all-star, a hit machine, had multiple multi-hit games, over 8 of them. He's a guy that a few years ago dreamed for this opportunity, and he has it here. And he slices one to center. King has it for out number 2. But finishing the note on Caulfield, committed to a junior college in which he did not play a game for him over 2 years because of COVID, and then got the opportunity to come to Arizona as an older player, and over the last 2 years has worked his way up. Here's Corey Morton. And he fouls one off near the Gateman dugout. Gene Bowles reaching over the ledger to try to grab it. And now Mike Mobbs is going to have to go over and get it. Corey Morton walked in his first trip to the plate. This is a family legacy for Morton. His dad playing for Hyannis in the late 80s. And he takes it outside. And his dad, Kevin, also played at Seton Hall with the big dog, Mo Vaughn, who was one of the best Wareham Gatemen players ever. He played for Wareham in '87 and '88 and was in the inaugural class of the Cape Cod Baseball League Hall of Fame in 2000. Popped up, foul territory, clanking near the stands over there.
You can keep that foul ball, courtesy of attorney Glenn Hannington and his daughter, Tevis.
So the hit dog and Kevin Morton going way back. Corey Morton here at the plate in a 1-ball and 2-strike count. And sees it low. Corey coming to us from UConn. Took the first half of the summer off after a long year with UConn in his first full season that he's been able to play. He just gets a piece of it, stays alive. Another changeup from Williams. The runner on second is Sherrod. Runner on first, Hussey. And they'll both be moving on this next pitch.
Another situation with multiple runners on base. Got to convert here.
The line moved. Corey Morton works his second walk of the evening. And the bases are loaded for Yadi Hernandez.
Well, again, Corey Morton has not, hit the ball very well since coming to the Cape. He has not gotten on base a whole lot, but he's drawing great at bats here. I think he's one of the more improved guys the last bunch of games he's played in. Again, not here for a very long time, but he's more than improved with this team.
Hernandez takes a slider for strike one, and Yadi's been a joy to have around. When he first got here as a temp player, I was kind of unsure how long he was going to be here for. There was a lot of permanent catchers that were soon to be on the way. And he swings and misses again. And I remember the first time we watched practice, these pitchers were like, I don't know who this guy is catching, but he presents the ball so well. I want to be throwing to him. And that's where the legend of Yadi Hernandez began. Sticking around here against all odds. And now going to play for an SEC school next year. And he sends the 0-2 pitch to the right side. The lead steps on the bag, and the Gatemen leave the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 3 left. To the 5th we go, 5-0 YD.
To wish a happy 12th birthday to Oliver
5-0 YD as we head to the 5th inning here. The new pitcher for the Gatemen is Riley Eichhoff, coming out of the bullpen for just the 2nd time this year. And the guest extravaganza continues on. Michaela Semio joining us now. Michaela, good to be with you here on the broadcast.
Good to be with both of you. This is my first time on the broadcast. Super exciting.
How many years have you been here?
I've worked with the team since 2021, but I've been a fan my whole entire life. Couldn't give you a year. But I grew up going to these games, and it's been a pleasure to work for this team. It's great.
So 3rd season, and this is your first time on the airwaves.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're a past broadcaster, I've asked multiple times, and they've all said no.
We had to rectify
look who's
it.
superior.
We had to rectify it.
Jack and Aiden, they've been great all season.
Thank you.
They're going to get jobs.
We promised we didn't pay her to say that. She said that on her own.
No, they're great. They are annoying sometimes, but we do love them here.
So Riley Eichhoff getting ready to pitch here. Eichhoff has a 5.25 ERA in 5 starts, 24 innings. He's given up 14 runs. The big thing is he throws strikes, 21 strikeouts to 5 walks. This will be his last appearance of the year. It's Day, Jackson, and Basso due up for the YD Red Sox. So tell us about what you do here for the organization.
I kind of do a lot-ish. I mostly do our photography and social media. I've been taking photos for the team since 2021, and I didn't do as much this year because I wanted to take more of a social media role because I think it's good to be well-rounded. But it's my favorite time of the year. It's 44 games, but it's the best 44 games I'll ever work. I wouldn't trade it for the world. No other team, no other league. It's great.
And what's it like for you as somebody that was a fan growing up, getting to return and getting to now be on the inside of the organization?
It was like the dream. Like, I grew up wanting to be a game day intern, and I didn't get into photography until I was in high school, a couple months before I started working for the team. And I was lucky enough, during 2021, COVID, they didn't have a photographer. And I got asked to it, and that day, I still have the photos, I still have the text messages. I've grown a lot since that moment. I was literally thinking about it driving here. I was very nervous starting. I didn't think I was good enough, but here I am now, working for UMass, working for the Gatemen still, published by the MLB. If I were to talk to 17-year-old Michaela now, she probably wouldn't believe where I am now. I'm very proud of myself, and I'm proud of everyone here today.
Chopper back to the mound. Eichhoff flips it to first. 1 up, 1 down for Riley here in the 5th inning.
I know you've developed some fun relationships with players. Anybody who you've really, specifically enjoyed this summer?
The team has been great this summer. It's one of my favorite teams I've ever worked for. In the past, I was younger. I started when I was 17, 18, but now I'm getting to their age, and it's really good to become friends with them. I became close with our Arizona guys, Nick McLean, Garen Caulfield, Tommy Splain, Aiden Major from West Virginia. He's in there. If you're watching this, you're probably not knowing you. Made my summer great. There's a bunch of other people out there. Bobby's been here since day one. Zach Stewart made it so fun in the dugout. Very personable people. One of my favorite teams I've worked for. Bryce Schaefer, great with kids. Same with Sebastian Murillo. Riley Eichhoff, who's on the mound, is one of my favorite pitchers I've ever met. He's such a good guy. Scouts, if you're watching this, scout him. Take him. He is such a good guy. I couldn't say enough good things about him.
Shot to right field. Morton has a beat on it. He's got it for the 2nd out.
We've asked everyone who's come in the booth. We'll ask you, what is your day in the life like for a Gateman game?
A day in the life for a Gateman game. Oh, gosh.
Well, you can give a little bit different perspective, too, because you have another job. Like many of the players and interns around the league do, you have another job during the day.
I do.
How do you balance that and this?
It's hard. I'm very lucky enough to have amazing bosses. I work at Soft as a Grape, one of our sponsors. Check out our Buzzards Bay store. You can find me there. I usually wake up, get to work at 8, leave around 2, eat some food. While I'm at work, I edit photos. I'll do a lot of work. I head to the field usually 2.5 hours, 2 hours before. get some pre-game content out on the stories, take some flicks, hang with the guys, just get to know them. The game starts. I'm everywhere. You find me everywhere in the field. And then post-game, do all the post-game content, upload everything, and then I go to bed and do it all over again.
So it sounds like you're ready for the season to maybe be over and sleep a little more?
I did sleep a total of 9.5 hours today. I did not have work this morning. I did wake up at 12:30 and miss intern BP. Very, very sad, but I did not want to embarrass myself in front of everyone.
I guess you just missed all the barrels that I had.
Okay, for sure.
Shot to center. Bozer has it for the third out. Hey, we have you on. We have a 1-2-3 inning.
Yeah, that's so. Keep me on for another half.
I think we got to keep. That's Aiden's call.
Nope, it's not my call, Jack. It's you.
Well, it's you're turning over to the bottom of the fifth.
Well, we have a sideline hit. Let's hear from Amanda first.
And, we'll have.
And then we'll
keep you
come
on.
back.
We'll keep you on in the
All
bottom
right.
of the fifth.
Let's take a break. We'll be back in a minute.
Back now for the bottom of the fifth inning. Gage Williams still out there, and here's the third member of our crew, Amanda Foster. Amanda?
Well, guys, we talk a lot about how the relationships formed out here in the Cape League are beneficial in the future, but we also have to think about how past relationships can help players come up here in the Cape League in the first place. Now, Jimmy Brennan and hitting coach Mike Mobbs have known each other since Brennan was in about 6th or 7th grade. They've been working on hitting together, both coming out of New Jersey. Jimmy Brennan told me that Mobbs was a big reason why he was even up here with the Gatemen in the first place. He said he reached out to Mobbs in the beginning of the summer, knowing that he wanted to play somewhere. Mobbs said he would put in a good word for him, and here we are. And Brennan, since his return to the Gatemen, has been hitting the cover off the ball, not currently in the game yet, but we should expect to see him get at least one at-bat later in the game today in his final appearance for the Gatemen. Guys?
Amanda, thanks so much. We roll along. Jack? You want to toss to me for one final time this summer?
I was about to ask what you're doing. All right.
Go.
For the final time this summer, to take you for the rest of the way and hopefully spark a Gateman comeback, here's Aiden Blanc.
Let's hope Wareham has one comeback left in him. It's going to have to be a big one. They trail by 5. Aiden, Jack, and Michaela still with you on the Gateman Baseball Network. Michaela, a longtime Gateman fan and current Gateman intern. J.C. Cologne standing in, having singled back in the third, takes ball 1. Michaela, what's it been like working with some of the other members of our media team? Yours is one of the more collaborative jobs. You work with our photographer, Maddie. You work with our beat writers. You work with us sometimes. What's that been like?
It's great to work with other people from different backgrounds and different schools. Like, Jack's from Georgia. I'm not a Southern gal.
Don't we know it?
Oh, poor JC. I'm from Wareham, and I never really left Wareham. So it's great to see people from different areas. And then before this job, didn't know anything about broadcasting, didn't know what it took. I didn't know there was a difference between play-by-play and color. I don't work directly with Jack and Aiden much, but it's been great to see like the behind the scenes of what it takes to do a broadcast. We all do work together. We all support one another. Every single person here is amazing at their jobs, and they're going to have big, great futures. And I'm just so happy to see where everyone goes from here.
I love that. I'm kind of with you. I go to school in Arizona, but I'm New Englander guy, lived in Connecticut my entire life. A fly to Montgomery and right. First out of the inning. JC works a good at-bat, a long at-bat, in which multiple times he thought he was going to get on base, but he flies out and turns the lineup over. Bobby Bozer's third at-bat. But it has been very cool, getting to know Jack. Much different background. Maddie as well. She's from kind of the same area.
Amanda's been all over the place.
That's true. Amanda's, I don't know where Amanda hasn't lived.
And then it's cool, like Rachel, our amazing producer behind us, is literally 30 minutes from me. And we have so many mutual friends that we had no clue about before this. So it's really cool to see, like, who you know in Massachusetts and making lifelong friends. Like, Kenzie, I know you're not watching this, our athletic trainer in 2021, works for Tampa Bay Rays now, and she's one of my best friends. She supports me to this day. I talk to her every single day. Just saying, I love you, bestie. Slay. That was fun.
We can give shout-outs. We're very pro shout-outs.
Shout out Bam Bam Bowles, my literal child this season, Eliana and Ryan Smythe. Becoming friends with the coaches' kids and the coaches' wives have been absolutely amazing. It's not just about making connections with the players and other interns. It's about making connections with the fans
Bozer
and
at to
the
left.
family.
That's an F7. We met Bobby on the very first night that we were here.
He is a great.
He stayed with our host family for one night, Mary and Mike. And
he's really good at juggling, and he's really good at this card game. Forget the card game name, but he absolutely smokes Cheryl in it.
Oh,
so.
Speed? Is that what it is?
Speed?
Something like that.
Blink?
That sounds right.
Blink. It's called Blink. Don't blink, Bobby.
Dorian Gonzalez grounds it foul right side 0-1. That was the very, I mean, it feels like ages ago. That was the very first night we were here. Michaela was driving us around, showing us around Wareham. Bobby's, you know.
Bobby was terrified. He was with these two in the back
sandwiched
seat.
Between these two broadcasters in the back seat.
Just found out he was coming like a couple, I don't even know how long, but he was sewn straight into us, and I think it was great. Welcome to Wareham. Gonna be lifelong friends with this kid.
You look at him now. How comfortable he is.
The growth I've seen in all these players from day one, being here for all 44 games, is absolutely amazing. The improvement that all these players have and Wareham's coaching staff is developing them is crazy. Like Dorian Gonzalez at the plate right now, he's improved so much since we first saw him, and it's great to get him to know him as a person. I can't say anything bad about any of our players because it's one of the best teams I've worked for, and it's one of the best coaching staffs I've ever worked for.
Gonzalez, the lefty, in a 2-2 count. The pitch. Just high, and the count runs full. Nice long inning here.
I know we talked about it a little earlier, so I'll be brief with this, but you know, it's not all about the wins and losses. Seeing how these guys have gotten better this year has been such a bright spot of the season.
Popped up. Center field. Day wants it. Day's got it. Beyond the second base bag, and Gage Williams is through 5 complete innings. This will be his second 1-2-3. Michaela, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, boys. It's been great. I'm
Make sure the Instagram story is good.
Follow me on Instagram at Michaela Semio, and make sure to follow all Gateman social medias at Wareham Gatemen and our TikTok account.
There you go.
Hashtag Go Gateman.
Let's take a break. We'll be back. Welcome back on the Gateman Baseball Network. Wareham trailing 5-0, the final game of the regular season. Our guest extravaganza on the Gateman Baseball Network continues with the Cape League Executive of the Year, Mr. Tom Crane. Let's first adjust the mic.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right, Tom. I promise this is the best half inning of the year. How are you?
In 5 minutes, you might not think the same. I'm doing great. How are you guys? Thanks for having me here.
We're excited for this. Packy Bradley Cooney is the new pitcher for the Gatemen. We were told, bullpen's getting emptied last game of the season. Tom, we've asked everybody. Why don't you give us your duties on a regular day? I know you barely do anything around here, but
I don't.
Just in general, what do you try to do? What do you think about doing every day?
I try to do a little security, help out where I can. We get ready to do our stuff in the off season, and mainly I like to have fun. Hopefully it shows, and hopefully everybody here is having a blast.
Is it bad that I don't actually know your official title with the organization?
No, nobody does.
What is it?
I don't even know it. And I've been here for a while. I've got different titles, but mainly it's to have fun.
Leadoff batter is Theo Hardy. Ball one. What's been your favorite part of the summer?
Just meeting everybody, having a great time, working on the All-Star game. It's always fun meeting all the new players and interns and everything else at the start of every summer. And I like to get everybody, make sure everybody's acclimated to everything, so it's so everybody's having a good time.
Where do we rank on the list of all-time Gateman interns?
Oh, you guys are up near the top.
Oh, really? All right, that's high praise.
That's flattering.
I'm going to use that on my resume.
Definitely, but just don't say that I quoted it because they'll see my name and it won't help you out much.
3-1 the count. Anybody you've specifically enjoyed interacting with this summer?
This summer?
Player or otherwise?
It's everybody. I mean, the coaching staff, the players, interns, everybody. That's what I like to do. I like to get involved with everybody and it's just have a good time. That's all it is.
So I understand you're also the player agent as well?
Yes.
So what does that entail for our listeners?
Well, it's getting to know the players on a regular basis. It's tough now with so many players coming in and out, but also if there's a curfew, I'm the guy who enforces that. And if a player has anything he wants to discuss, he doesn't want to go, if he wants to speak to me about it, I'll take care of it if I can.
I actually didn't know that. Have you had to enforce the curfew this year?
No. As far as I know, there isn't one.
Have you ever had to enforce a curfew?
I have, yes. I've had host families call me at 3 in the morning, and I'm not too happy when I get a call at 3 in the morning saying my player's not home.
Weirdest place a contract has ended up this year?
I don't know.
Over to first.
Safe.
Oh, he beat it out.
Yeah.
Hardy's up to second. King's on first. First two batters Cooney sees are on base. I don't know. You might be bad luck. Michaela was up here 1-2-3 inning.
Yeah, well, that's the way it goes sometimes. I can't leave now. This is my moment, my 15 minutes of fame for the summer.
There you go.
So I'm not going anywhere.
First pitch. Inside the batter is Ryan Stafford. You're a member of the group that was dealing with the All-Star game. What were some of your favorite moments about that?
This year's All-Star game?
Sure.
I love the home run hitting contest. That was a lot of fun. I actually brought one young kid out onto the field with me, and the kid loved it. It was his first Cape League game ever, so he came over after the game was over and shook my hand and thanked me. So I told him he's going to come back next year, though. He said guaranteed.
And you're the one that, deals with the autograph nights, those kind of things. How rewarding is it? He's going to get clipped here and the bases are loaded. How rewarding is it to, you're always, trying to pull a kid onto the field, get him a ball or something. How rewarding is it to work with the kids?
Oh, that's one of my most favorite things. I've already given baseballs away tonight. I always have one in my back pocket, except I don't now. But when you see them, to see the smiles on the kids' faces, and you'll see them back the next year, and they'll come up to you, remember me? And Some you don't, but of course you do. So it's fun. That's what it's about, keeping the kids coming back. I know it's a generic answer, but it's true.
Yadi Hernandez meeting on the mound with Cooney. You know, he's a guy that came in late. How do you get to know those guys that, you know, get signed to these late season deals?
Some of them I don't. It's tough. I just said it now. I saw one of the players that goes, he knew, and they said, yeah. I said, haven't met him yet. You try to do the best you can. I try to get here early and talk with everybody.
Oh, what is outside? We're talking to Tom Crane. He was named the Cape League Executive of the Year. I know you've told the story about how you were kind of surprised by it, very surprised by it.
I thought it was a joke. I looked at Tom Gay and said, you're kidding me, right? And he said, no. I said, cut it out. This isn't funny. You're kidding me. And he did say no. And he made me wave to the people. And I had a few of the people from Blanc come up to me and say, you should see the look on your face. Very surprised. But I'm very honored by it as well.
Yeah, what's that award mean to you? It's obviously, you know, a league that is pretty much only volunteers and interns to be the guy.
It still hasn't sunk into me yet. I'll find out in November when they have the awards night, and but I'm very honored. I'm proud of it, and I try to help out wherever I can, and I don't think I did anything really to go out of my way to or anything. That's why I was surprised and still am.
Strikeout for Cooney, first out of the inning. He is dealing with the bases loaded here. Stafford, King, and Hardy all on the pass.
Number 16, Casey Cook.
Well, this is interesting, Jack. Hunter Hines is getting pinch hit.
He got his 13th home run, and they said, see ya. See you in the playoffs.
And that wasn't a cheapy home run either.
No, that was a bomb. I heard Casey Cook as the pinch hitter. He takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Who is the best Gateman player you've ever seen play here?
You've seen a lot of them.
One of my favorites was Kyle Schwarber, who's now with the Phillies, and great kid. He was very good. His attitude was incredible, and what's best about it, he's a better person. I met him when he got inducted into the Hall of Fame, and his parents did a good job with him. He remembers what he did and what it took to get where he is. Very down-to-earth kid.
Golfed right side and foul. Was he one of the guys you had to remind about the curfew?
No. Well, he did show. A buddy of mine, who he's not here this year, but he used to host a player, and he'd end up with about 10 players at his house every night, and they ate him out of house and home, and Schwarber was one of them. Because he always told me, you should host players. I said, no, I don't think so. I don't have that much money. I'd be going to the grocery store every day.
0-2. Ripped foul right side. I know you went fishing with a couple of guys this year, right?
I did not, but they went. I gave them my fishing spot. I gave them my fishing spot, and they did pretty well.
What's your fishing spot?
I don't know.
It's the pond here in Wareham.
Can you just get that away for free?
No, I told them where to go, and as soon as I came to the ballpark, it's like, hey, we got this. We got a big fish here. We got this fish, and give them a couple of pointers where to go to when I guess they ended up going several times. They were going to come to my house. I said, I don't care if you do. Don't worry. Just let me know you're coming. But they ended up going to that same spot all the time, and they did pretty well. Boy, that always still makes me jump.
Makes us jump, too.
How many more foul balls back to this plexiglass do you think it's going to be before this zip tie gives out?
I don't think anything's directly hit the plexiglass yet. We've had a
it
couple,
did yesterday, the other day, rather, I should.
Okay, so one. Nothing's really directly hit. If there is a direct hit, yeah, it's probably going down.
So it's going to happen now, so should I move?
I think maybe the 2024 broadcast crew, whoever it is, might be in for a nice surprise on opening day next year. We'll put it at that.
Yeah, that's seen better days.
Big lift for Cooney. He has a 1-2 count, looking to get his second consecutive punch out. And he misses outside, 2-2. How about these white uniforms? It kind of feels like a, 2012 Gateman game.
It does. It's
right?
When I came in, I spoke to Ryan. I go, what's with the white? And it brings you back a few years. But I do like the newer ones, too.
Long at bat here for Casey Cook. Well, you missed Amanda's sideline hit. He sent it this morning at about 9 in the morning. He sent out a poll in the group chat. Do you want to do the whites today? Renee Lastris was the driving force.
Yep. He said I left it up for an hour. But I like that though. Ryan's a good guy. I like the coaching staff here a lot.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Cooney delivers. Ball 3. Yeah, what's your relationship been like with Ryan Smythe? His first season here. A lot of these guys brand new to the organization.
It's good. I like to talk to him before every game and just to see what he's thinking. I mean, he's just such a positive person, and he's kind of like a breath of fresh air, especially compared to last year. Not mentioning any names, but he totally different, and that's what we were looking for in the off season, and we found it with him. So hasn't been the most successful year, but record-wise, but overall, I think it's gone pretty well.
Well, Tom, you're getting more than your 15 minutes of fame here. We have a nice long inning, a walk to Casey Cook. Bases still loaded. And here's Dub Gleed. Wareham and YD, the final game of the season for Wareham. The pitch. Low and in. You've been with the Gatemen for quite some time. You've seen, obviously, some championship seasons, some really, really deep playoff runs, and, some seasons like this that don't get past game 44.
Right.
How do you stay positive with this team? How do you keep moving forward, games 34 to 44, the last, stretch of the season when you're not going to the playoffs?
It's baseball. It's summer baseball. I look forward to this all year long, and I love it. I mean, if we were 0-44, you'd be disappointed, but it's still summer baseball. I mean, we've got a group of people here with this organization. It's like a summer family. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. I mean, hey, it's great to win, yeah, but like I say, if you win all the time, it'd be boring.
3-0. Walks in another run. Cooney struggling to find the strike zone here. Cook and Stafford moving up, and Gleed's on with a walk. Now Brady Day, the second baseman.
Here comes Ryan.
And they're going to make a pitching change. Well, Tom, we're about to get into the offseason. Offseason pretty much begins after tonight for summer ball, especially, the next month, really crucial with recruiting players. What is your job become in the offseason in terms of, keeping the organization smooth as, a lot changes over? Obviously, this past offseason was very interesting with Andy Lang becoming the president of the organization, a lot of transition. Maybe not so much this offseason, but what do you do in the offseason as the organization, finds new people?
Well, we're going to start with our meetings. We have them every month. We're going to start next month. We're going to try and do a little harbor cruise, the end of this month with everybody in the organization. But we just basically gear down and start looking forward. And I mean, do it on the positive aspect. That's what I like about everybody in the organization. It's a good thing. Everybody's positive about everything. And again, my main aspect is having fun. No matter what, I'm going to have fun here. It doesn't matter. I will.
That's the attitude to have.
It's good. I mean, hey, you got to laugh a little bit, especially at yourself, and I laugh at myself a lot.
Jack, here's our buddy, Josh Lanham. He comes in to relieve Cooney, who only goes a third of an inning. You ever seen something like this with Josh Lanham where he's throwing like a fastball in the high 80s?
Not even the high 80s.
Not even, like mid 80s sometimes, and he's still the strikeout king.
Well, I did when watching the Red Sox when Tim Wakefield pitched, throwing his knuckleball. That was a steady 73 all the time. That used to be the running joke with it. But, no, it's some of the players, I mean, it's all velocity now, I guess. But, hey, you never know. He's probably doing well because players have to get their timing used to with him. So, who knows?
He was our guest the other day in the booth. He's a fun little windup.
Oh, yeah.
He's a big dude.
Looks like he should be reporting to school and be playing linebacker somewhere. He's a big kid.
Do they have a football team at Lenoir-Rhyne?
Well, they do. Actually, the Patriots' second-round pick just a few years ago, Kyle Duggar, plays safety for the Patriots now. So
there you go.
See? Here we go.
You All right. The alley-oop, I slam it home.
He needs an out. It's how we've been rolling all season long.
It's coming here. Maybe a double play.
Strike one called. Brady Day is the batter. A run. On his name today, checks his swing. Didn't go.
I realize we may be, I don't know if we're going to have time for this, but what maybe short summary, what's your Gateman origin story? How'd you get to where you are now with the organization?
Well, it's funny is I used to work in the waste and recycling business doing sales, and I get a call from one of the representatives here from the team saying, we're interested in it. So I came down and met with them. Oh, and, you know, I used to bring my kids here when they were younger and always watch the Gateman games. And then they asked me if I would do it. And I said, yeah, I can do some part-time. And then part-time became more and more. And I enjoyed it more and more responsibility. And here I am. Now they can't get rid of me.
How long have you been working for Wareham?
This is my 15th year.
Wow.
Doesn't seem like it, but.
Took 15 years. He finally won Executive of the Year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like that.
Now you can retire.
I'm still thinking they must have made a mistake with my last name or something. Because I've had people, you know, real sincere look up and say, "You really?" But I don't know. It just I don't approach anything with, you know, winning anything. I just like to have fun.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Josh Lanham's having fun. Gets a pop fly. Left side, infield fly.
Yep.
Brooks catches it anyway. 2 down. Well, you do have to give a speech in November, right?
I do.
Have you thought of what you're going to say?
Yes. And I have no idea.
Are you going to wing it?
I am. I've done sales. I did sales for over 30 years, so.
Okay.
It's if I go up there with anything prepared, I'm going to look like a fool.
Hey, we've been able to stretch this inning out. Behind Yadi. Run's going to score. That's Stafford. And YD out to an 8-0 lead. Cook and Dub lead both moving up. How about Dub lead? Second base runner. Best name in the Cape, right?
Oh, yeah, that sounds cool. Now, how are you guys doing? I'll turn it around a little bit. How are you guys enjoying yourselves?
Jack?
I'm having a great time. I'm just a little sad this season's ending tonight. Been a little quieter than usual, I feel like.
You can't wait for it to get here, and it's over in 10 minutes.
Yeah, it sneaks up on you. I think I woke up today, and I was like, I'll be here for less than 24 more hours.
Yep.
And it's like it hit me in the face out of nowhere.
Yeah, because this is your whole life for 2 months. And all of a sudden, it's over. And it's tough, but then you look forward to next year.
I think the lead up to it also kind of plays into it. You know, we were both hired before the new year.
Right.
I think most of our media team was hired before the new year. And
yep.
You're then working on, you know, months of rosters of guys you know, many of who didn't even make it here, you know, were activated and released for whatever reason. You know, you're working with, you know, building that relationship with the new team, and, you know, it takes months. We were preparing for this season longer than the season's going to last, you know.
Right.
You get out here, and bam, it's, you know, it's June. One thing you know, it's, you know, you're sitting down, it's June 10th to do the game, and now it's game 44.
Yep. But one good thing about it is a few years from now, you guys will be sitting wherever you are, and these memories will be coming back to you. You'll see a ball field, and something will come back to you, and you'll think about it. And plus, you can keep in touch with people, too. There's still interns and media people that I've kept in touch with from years ago.
Who are some of your favorite interns, media-wise or otherwise?
Well, Megan Morant, now, who was with WWE, she was my bud. She was awesome. She was here for 2 summers. And whose signature's over here, Cam Stewart. He was a good guy. And I reach out to him I think he's down in Texas now. And I heard Megan's moving back up to Connecticut soon. So, but she was
Great
always
place to live. One ball and one strike. The batter is Greg. It's Bozo, not Bozo. We have a Bozo with us.
Exactly. Wait, what?
Oh, I mean, he's talking about himself, Tom.
That's okay. I can take that. That's a compliment, actually.
Rips it
Is out
left
3.
field, and mercifully, Tom Crane will exit our broadcast booth.
Well, I appreciate it, guys.
Tom, thank you so much. This was, I think, longer than anybody expected, but wonderful conversation.
People are sleeping now, listening to it now with me on here.
That's Tom Crane. He is the Cape Cod Baseball League Executive of the Year, and every year he's Wareham's Executive of the Year. So thanks so much for joining us, Tom.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
We'll be back in just a moment on the Gateman Baseball Network.
Whether you worked for one game or
Welcome back. We're at Spillane Field. Just Aiden and Jack here on the Gateman Baseball Network. Unless, Jack, you have another guest.
No, it's just me. You're stuck with me still.
Okay. One of our last innings of the summer, 8-0 YD. They only got one hit in that last inning. Tom was, titillating us with those stories, but we kind of lost track of the amount of, free bases allowed in that inning. It was ugly. Josh Lanham seemed to have settled into a little groove there. 1-0. Foul back. The hitter is Grant Sherrod. One of his last at-bats of the summer out of USC Upstate.
Pitcher is Pablo Torres from Bethune-Cookman, making his Cape League debut here.
Lines one to right center field, and Sherrod has himself a base hit. Rushing over to get it, Montgomery. Great piece of hitting from Grant. A single to start the sixth.
Torres was invited to the Team USA training camp, did not make the team, but is kind of a short-statured guy. Has a hard fastball, though, in the low 90s. Slider and changeup to go along with it. Succeeds a lot against right-handed hitters and just finished his freshman year playing for Bethune-Cookman down south.
It was close, but I'm like, dude, I saw it. I walked back. It was total umpire pace of play momentum thing.
Pitch goes high for ball one. Yarmouth-Dennis, 8 runs on 9 hits. They play clean baseball. Wareham, no runs on 3 hits, 1 error. At the very least, you'd like to not be shut out. Finish the season on a high note. Grant Hussey is the batter out of West Virginia. A walk back in the 4th inning. Looking for one more Huss-Bus moment before the season ends. 3 balls and no strikes. He's been really patient at the plate tonight. Again, a guy like him could come up and, swing at some pitches, trying to mash it.
Actually, no, fuck that. I'm going to hit another barrel. And the baseball guys told me to go 3 barrels. That's what we're going to do today.
3 balls and 1 strike. Three and 1. And Hussey draws a second walk. How about some patient at bats from Grant Hussey?
Third baseman, number 5, Michael Brooks.
Now Michael Brooks comes up. First and second for Wareham here in the 6th. Hussey and Sherrod both getting on. Sherrod with a single and Hussey with a walk. The pitch is high to Michael Brooks. Had a single back in the 2nd. Time is called. They're going to go talk to Torres. Yarmouth-Dennis gearing up for the postseason. They will be home on Friday and potentially Sunday if needed. No matter what, they'll either face the 3rd-seeded Harwich Mariners or the 4th-seeded Brewster Whitecaps. We'll have to find out postgame if Ryan Smythe, now that his team's season is over, will root for his old friends in Brewster.
Going around the league, Bourne up 6-0 on Hyannis in the bottom of the 6th inning, a game that doesn't mean anything for standing purposes. Chatham is up 7-0 on Orleans. It's looking good for YD to get that 1 seed back. Harwich, final 3-2 over Brewster, who drops, and then Katuitt down 1, 4-3. Falmouth on top in the top of the 7th.
Batter is Michael Brooks once again. 3rd baseman out of Kansas, 1 for 2. 2 balls and no strikes. No, they give him the strike in the outer 3rd. It's 1-1. A ball and a strike. Brooks looking to end the shutout. A called strike on the outer 3rd, 1-2. Final line for Williams. He's in line for a win. Going 5 innings, gives up 2 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. You're likely to see him back in the postseason sometime this weekend. High fly ball, lofted foul right side. He'll be a very, very big asset for the Red Sox. Yarmouth-Dennis and Wareham closing down the 2023 season. The count is 1-2. The middle infield back. Looking at turn 2, and the ball skips away from Gonzalez. Or rather, Bazo behind the plate. Runners go to 2nd and 3rd. And Michael Brooks now has an opportunity to cut down on this YD lead, give Wareham some offense. The first pitch to him. Inside, he skips off the plate. Now 3-2.
Wareham has had 5 runners left on base. 2 in the second, 3 in the fourth. Popped up. Center field. Caught by King. No tag. Throw coming in is blocked at the plate. Basso able to clamp down on it, and F8 for the first out.
From Arizona.
Good job by the catcher Basso to kind of sprawl like a wrestler on that ball. You got to pull out all the stops to make sure it doesn't trickle away from you or get by you, because we've seen that before where you think you're just going to stop it and then you get in the wrong position. He smothered that ball, made sure he couldn't get it.
So it's Garen Caulfield looking for an RBI. First pitch, inside and low for ball 1. He told me he wants to end the season on a hit. Doesn't matter if it's only 1 hit, but he wants to finish out his season, which has, again, been a terrific, terrific summer, with a hit. He was an all-star. He certainly made his name known this summer, and that should help him get a little bit more playing time in the fall at Arizona. The count's 1-1.
He's another guy that's gotten a lot better since he got here. He had kind of a down year in the spring, hit about 220 for Arizona. His playing time dipped a little bit, and then gets up here and is a consistent everyday hitter playing in the middle of the infield.
The 1-1. Block 2-1. I think that's something that we haven't really talked too much about, but you know, he's got to be thinking he's going to go back to swinging a metal bat in like 2 weeks. He's got to be thinking, man, that thing is going to feel so light. It's going to feel like a toothpick, and it's going to really, you know, I've always felt that, you know, this is such a great opportunity to come and, you know, deal with a little bit heavier bat. And it, you know, it should help you come up a little bit harder with your bat speed in the fall.
Well, it's not even really the weight of the bat. It's more of just how it's composed. You have to be earlier to the ball and make sure you get the barrel to it with this wood bat. When you are swinging with metal, you can get away with being a little late and getting jammed. When you have a wood bat, if you get jammed, you're most likely shattering your bat. So it teaches you to be a little more quick to the ball.
Right side, foul ground. First baseman Gleed can't get it.
And the biggest thing is it's just less forgiving, the wood is. You know, you can get some jam shot hits with the metal bats. The barrel is larger on it, so the sweet spot, you can, you know, hit it a little bit more on the bat, any wear on it. With wood, there's a smaller barrel to it, so your margin for error is a lot less than it normally would be with the metal bat.
Two and two with 1 out. From the first base side of the rubber, Torres deals in, gets away from the catcher, Basso. And Wareham will score a run. They will close out their season with at least 1 run.
Dogs are enjoying it. It's a tailing fastball that Basso didn't really have a good grasp on behind the plate. This is his first time catching Torres because it's Torres' first appearance, and Basso is playing in his first game as well, and so you don't know how a guy's stuff moves. Oftentimes it can be a difficult transition trying to catch him.
Caulfield pops it up. Fouled away. So the count holds full. The final night of the season for the Gatemen. 3-2. Popped away, foul. And after tonight, well, maybe take a couple of days off, but Ryan Smythe will immediately start to talk with Bob Prince and the folks on the board and try to assemble next year's squad. You got to think at least some of these guys will be back in a Wareham uniform. Popped away right side, 3-2 again. Certainly a lot to build on from this season. There were very good aspects of this group. And it'll be Ryan Smythe's first full offseason, which will be very interesting. It'll be, the first time he, really gets to assemble a full team. Parts of it were assembled before he was hired, fouled away.
Yeah, I think we'll probably see a lot of new faces next year as well, because a lot of these guys that they have in their lineup right now are rising juniors, and that means next year's draft they'll be eligible. So you see a lot of guys that want to go after their third year. They might come up here for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, then leave for the draft. Some of them just don't come up here and just wait for the draft. So a lot of these guys on this team are not draft eligible.
3-2 falls out. Guerin works a very long walk.
Pinch hitter for the Gatemen in place of Corey Morton is
And
number
so,
16, Josh Stevenson from
Wareham
Ohio
will
State.
most likely empty the bench over the next few innings. Josh Stevenson the first. Going to hit for Corey Morton, waiting for instructions from the dugout as his name is entered in on the card.
Pinch runner at first base for Wareham is number 13, Jimmy Brennan from Post University.
And Amanda had mentioned Jimmy Brennan is going to get in the game. He does for Guerin Caulfield. So now Stevenson, after Morton drew 2 walks, that'll be the summer for Corey. Again, a late addition. Always great to get to see another Connecticut native playing on the Cape. Cut and a miss, 0-1. Yadi Hernandez waiting on deck. Couple more names off the bench going to get in. You get some pitchers in as well. 0-1. High and away, 1-1. Stevenson came to Wareham as an LSU Tiger. Had some visits about midway through his time here, and now will exit heading to Ohio State. Another one of those guys that is really, came here with a purpose. Didn't get a ton of, he was seeing some playing time at LSU. Things work out, with a school like that, turnover at every position every year, and he was a victim of that this season. Came in looking to A, play baseball, and B, find a new school because he entered while he was in the portal. And I think, he's one of the better stories on this team that's come in and played very, very good baseball and found a new home off of it. 3-1. Big swing and a miss, 3-2. Lights fully illuminating Spillane Field for the final time this summer. The payoff coming. Low and out. And in one of Stevenson's final at-bats of the summer, he draws a great walk. 2 very long at-bats with Caulfield and Stevenson, and they both go Wareham's way.
Yeah, let's see if Hernandez, who came up with the bases loaded and an at-bat prior and left him stranded, let's see if he can get some revenge here. Torres has really not shown the ability to be around the zone, so you got to be patient.
Here's Yadi. First pitch to him. Strike one. You had talked about Yadi's story earlier. A guy that, again, came in with a chip on his shoulder. No one really expected to get past the first round of cuts. Not only did he do that, he's made it the entire summer with some very good catchers that have come in. Swing and a miss, 0-2. You talk about the beginning of the year. Caleb Pendleton. Jimmy Brennan came in as a catcher, saw some time those early games. Then Ryan Campos, Tommy Splane. Yadi has stayed here and is going to Mizzou. Lines it to center. Hard hit ball, but right at King. 2 out. The run will tag and score. Hussey is in, and Wareham cuts it down to 8-2.
Good adjustment by Yadi, making an adjustment in a 2-out situation, going down, getting a breaking ball, and punching it to center, just getting it deep enough to slowly but surely start to chip away.
Pinch hitter for Wareham in place of J.C. Cologne is number 36.
And now
Hot from Marist College.
J.C. Cologne gets pinch hit for. J.C., another great story. Coming in at third. You know, took a while for him to get adjusted to the position. It was not a position he had really played too much. And then Sebastian Murillo leaves. They need a shortstop. And JC has started almost every game since. And with that change in fielding has also come a big change in his hitting. So he will end his time in Wareham certainly with a smile on his face. Was 1 for 2 today with a single. And now one of the newer faces on this roster, Byram Hott. 0-1 the count. Byram has turned out to be an incredible defensive player. He's made some great catches this summer. Won big awards in the spring with Marist. Goes opposite field. There's a base hit knocked through. Brennan turns the corner. Throw coming in is low. Brennan turns back to third. The bases remain loaded.
It's a good job by third base coach Mike Mobbs, who's traveling down the third base line. So he originally waved Brennan home, but as he goes down the line more to the home plate side, he has more room to wave up a late stop sign. So some guys at third base, their coach will stay in the box. They'll wave them around. Then once the guy's already by you, they can't see if you flash a late stop sign. So good job by Mike Mobbs continuing to read the play and hold Jimmy back. Now Bozer with a big shot here to try to get the Gatemen back in this ball game.
Bobby is the 8th hitter of the inning. The center fielder from South Florida, 0 for 3, takes it high for ball 1. You'd like to see him at least end with a hit or a walk getting on base somehow, given that's kind of been his MO this summer. If they need a guy on, he is that guy. Had a walk-off against Orleans a few weeks ago here. Or one of the bigger moments of his season, fouls away, 1-1. A ball and a strike, 2 out. Wareham trying to keep the rally going. The bases are loaded. Hott, Stevenson, Brennan on the base pass, and the count's 2-1. Another deep count for Bozer. A true utility player for this team, has spent time at almost every position on the field. The 2-1, 2-2. It's probably in the back of Ryan Smythe's head to try and play Bobby at every position. He's played second. He's played short. He's played third. He's played, I believe, every position in the outfield. We've seen him in left, right, and center. Inside and low, 3-2. The 3 positions remaining. Wareham will have 3 defensive innings left. Or 2, rather. And there are 3 defensive innings left. Can he get him to first? Can he get him behind the plate? And can he get him on the mound? 3-2. Golfed, left side. Over to first. Dug out in time. Bozer hustles, but cannot beat it. 6-3 the putout. Jackson throws it from deep in the hole at shortstop. And the inning comes to a conclusion. Wareham is on the board, though. 2 runs. They get them on 2 hits with no errors and 3 runners left on base. Let's go to the 7th inning. Our guest extravaganza continues. Stephen Hunt on the other side of this break. Welcome back. We are here at Spillane Field. The Gatemen and the YD Red Sox. And our guest extravaganza continues. Player development intern, Stephen Hunt. We had Jake Fetterman on earlier. Stephen's here now. Stephen, welcome to the broadcast.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on. Excited to do this.
And Stephen, for those who didn't know, Jack's mentioned him a couple times on air, but he plays baseball at Emory. Took the summer off from baseball in a sense, but not really.
Not really.
He's come out to work with the Gatemen. We've asked everybody, what's your day-to-day like with the organization?
Yeah, so really most of my prep work is done kind of in the mornings before the games and then at night after the game. I spend a lot of time writing the advanced scouting reports for our hitters, so on the opposing pitching staff. And then usually my day, I'll get to the field around 2 o'clock for early work, head over to the cage with Coach Mobbs and the rest of the hitters and kind of go through the report that I have on the starter first. I'll always have video on the starter, go through everything he has, his usage, velos, count tendencies, any tips that I might see. So do all that with the hitters, and then maybe go really open it up to questions for the hitters after that. If they have questions about anything else on the starter, the rest of the opposing bullpen, go through that. And that's really where most of my work is done. And then at night I'll kind of go through and prep for the next game and do some coding work in R. Jake's been helping out a lot with that, which has been great. And that's really it. Do that 44 times a year.
Jack, did you take notes on that?
Take notes on what exactly?
Well, that's a lot. That's a lot of duties. I think that might be more than you and I do.
I think everybody here is kind of jack of all trades in a way.
Byram Hotz in at second base, and he laid out for that, but it just goes by him. Stephen, what's your favorite part been working with Wareham this summer?
Just getting to interact with the players and the coaches. Everybody here has been super open to what me and the rest of the interns, especially everybody with the PD group, super open to what we have to say and any suggestions that we might have. So it's been just super refreshing to be around a bunch of open baseball minds. A lot of credit goes to Ryan Smythe, our manager, and then the players as well, especially the hitters. Gotten to know them well, and I think I've developed a trust with them and a level of respect that I can kind of give my input on stuff that I see, and just been great to be around such an awesome group of guys.
Jake Farady's on the mound. Gave up the single, 0-1 swing and a miss, 0-2.
So intern batting practice today. How'd you think your round went?
It was all right. I mean, I hope our head coach down at Emory, Mike Twardowski, doesn't see that round. He probably wouldn't be too happy with it. I was trying to elevate and celebrate for sure. The wind was coming in, didn't give me much help today, so didn't quite get one out. Got close a few times, but it was a lot of fun. Cool to see all the other interns get out there and swing the bat a little bit, and I think everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was about to say if the wind wasn't blowing in, the scoreboard might have a hole in it.
I think you might have got one out there. I believe in you.
1-2. Popped in back of us, or above us. What's it been like working with the players? We asked Jake the same thing. Have they generally been pretty receptive to what you have to bring to the table?
Totally. Like I said, really since day one. I know it's tough in a league like this when so many guys are going in and out, but they've made it really easy on me to get to know them and be able to present information to them in an effective way. It really isn't that hard, and a lot of that credit goes to them. And I think that's kind of where some of my playing experience does help out in that I think I'm able to make the reports that I write and all the data that I present pretty digestible for them to understand, and that's really what it's all about. I wouldn't be doing my job if I understood everything, but they don't, right? It's all about getting them what they need and getting to understand what they need to do to be successful. And not only me, but the rest of our PD guys, Jake, Zach, Aiden do a great job of that.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
So how do you think being around the game, being around the Cape this summer is going to help you, if it's going to, as a player when you return to Emory?
Totally. that was one thing I was just thinking about. Even though I haven't put the cleats on this summer, I really do think I've become a better player because of spending time up here. And I think one of the things that I admire most about our guys especially is just the consistency that they have every single day. You would never know when they show up to the yard at 2 o'clock for early work whether they went 4 for 4 last night or 0 for 4 last night. They're the same guys every day. And I think in a season like this where you're playing almost every night and it's 44 games in really 2 months, it takes a pretty strong mindset to be able to carry that mentality day in and day out, and I think that's something I can definitely get better at, and gonna try to implement it for us this spring and hopefully bring back another UAA title.
Runner takes off, pitch fouled away. Jake Faraday in a big 3-2 count here. A very long at bat from Skylar King.
Who's been your guys' favorite pitcher to watch this year? I'm curious.
Coleman Picard.
It's kind of hard not to like Coleman Picard. Runner takes off. The pitch is inside. Won't matter. Hardy gets the base. Very hard not to like Coleman Picard, and we wish him the best in his professional career.
Yeah, he was really impressive. The few starts that we got to see. I know he helped himself coming out here, and he was great.
I liked Frontera and Malstead too. Those I think probably round up the top 3. Mark Manfredi, a close one in that, probably a 4.
We've all kind of come to really like Jackson Reed, and I know he's scheduled to get an inning tonight. Jackson was on our broadcast the other night. Just very hard not to like him. Just a fun person, and he's pitched unbelievably well since coming out here. For a late addition to the team, a team that hasn't pitched very well this summer, to come in and pitch like that, like he has with a pretty much, 1 ERA, 1 and change. Very, very good outing for him. And he'll do very well at Western Carolina. Faraday and Stafford catches the outside corner, 0-2.
So what's it like for you? I know you got a Cape connection up here. Your high school coach, Max Fesky, coaching third for our leagues. What's it like being up here with him?
It's been great getting to see him. I wish he was in our division so I get to see him a couple more times. But, yeah, just seeing him up here doing his thing, it's no surprise to me and to anybody that's gotten to know him. He's so good at what he does, and I know he's going to continue to climb the ladder, and I think he'll be in the big leagues one day not too far away.
1 ball and 2 strikes here on Stafford. Was hit by a pitch and scored in the 6th. Faraday fires. Ball 4. And ball 3, rather. Full count.
So
or rather, 2-2.
You also play in the UAA, which, if a lot of people don't know, is a pretty vast geographic D3 conference. What's it like getting on the plane to go play?
So much fun. I know not many D3 teams get to have the travel schedule that we do. So let's see. This past year,
they throw to third. They don't get him.
We took a trip up to Boston, played Brandeis for a weekend, and then we were at Case Western in Cleveland as well. And this year we'll be going to NYU. That's a really fun one. Last year we were able to stay in Brooklyn when we did that and play in Coney Island at the Mets High Field. So that's really cool. But no, the travel is great. A lot of fun trips. Definitely one of the biggest benefits of playing in the UAA.
Have you gotten to see anybody up here that you played against?
I have. I've had a former teammate up here. Jack Brodsky was with Chatham. So good to run into him a few times.
He pitched against Wareham
at
one point.
Yep. Really good to run into him. I spent 2 seasons with him, and now he ended up grad transferring over to Tampa and had a great year with them. So super cool to see Jack. Really happy for him. He totally deserves being up here, and I know his numbers would say the same thing.
Ball is strike in and out. Did you have experience in summer ball before this, either playing or?
I did. I played in a league in California. It's a smaller league. It's the Gold Coast Collegiate League the last 2 summers. But not in a league like this where you're playing every day and against, the competition that's up here. This is definitely second to none.
2 balls and a strike. We'll see if Yadi can build that lead back up. He was at 8. Basic could make it 8 again. Right side, through into the right field gap. 2 runs will score. Throw comes in late. And Yadi has put up a 10 spot. 10 runs on 11 hits. They're back up to 8 with the lead.
What's maybe the biggest thing? It could be baseball related or you related or just anything related up here that you've learned.
You know what? That's such a good question because I've learned so many things from so many people. I know we talked about kind of the mentality that our players carry with them every day. I think I've been able to take some of that, and I know I'll be able to implement it into my last college season coming up. Our coaches, the way they interact with their players, and the confidence that they exude on them, I think is great to have as a player. And I know our coaches at Emory do the same thing. And then I've been able to learn a lot from my fellow interns as well. Whether it's just learning new sides of baseball, more about the analytical side and diving deeper into that. I said Jake's helped me a ton with learning to code better, and that's a skill I've definitely been able to work on this summer. And so just so many things I've been able to learn from so many really great people.
You said last year college baseball. Next year you're not trying to hit the grad.
We'll see. Maybe.
Portal?
You never know, right? But I know this will be my last year at Emory for sure. I'll still have that one extra COVID year, but I guess I should probably leave the door open on that.
2 balls and no strikes. The batter is Casey Cook, hitting for Hunter Hines. How about Hunter Hines with his 13th home run of the summer,
Crazy.
And then they pinch hit for him.
I know. I guess they're trying to get everybody in kind of like we're doing, but he's had a really good year. He's got to be the leader in home runs here, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't imagine anybody being above him.
2-1. Fouled away, 2-2.
Cole Mathis entered the day a homer back of him, but he's fallen a little behind. I think he's still looking for that ball that Bo's off of him over near
Bobby
the
Barrels, I love it.
The 2-2 with a runner on first base. Del tie, 3-2, a back pick to no avail.
Who's been maybe your favorite personality in the team that you've been around this summer?
There's so many of them, and everybody's so unique. We had some good ones earlier in the year. I know Nick McLean was definitely a character. He was fun to be around. I've really enjoyed getting to know Josh Stevenson. He's one of my favorites that we have right now. Just a great kid on and off the field. Funny story that actually happened yesterday. I was with Josh before the game, and I went up to him. I was like, dude, I got a feeling you're going to go deep tonight. So I told him that, and then I think it was his second at bat. He got one pretty good, and
oh yeah,
it might have gone out if the right fielder didn't make knock it down and make a good play on it. But that was kind of funny to see. And then right after the game, he texted me, and we were laughing about it. So he's a great kid, and just everybody brings a certain uniqueness to them, and it's been fun getting to know all the guys here.
1 ball and no strikes. A runner on first, 2 out. After Faraday's strikeout, grounded to third and gets by Brooks. That was a hard hit ball, and Brooks just couldn't trap it. Advances Montgomery up to second. Dub Gleed is on for the 3rd time tonight. And now Brady Day. Scoreboard update. Chatham 8 and Orleans 3, meaning all YD's got to do pretty much. That's the top of the 6th. There's still some ways to go, but it's looking like if YD can just hold this lead, they're going to be the #1 seed. I think they'll probably consider themselves very lucky, Jack, that they're not in control of their own destiny here. If Orleans can come back, they're the 1 seed. But YD if the scores hold, should be back at the top and win the East Division outright in the regular season. Any teams you've enjoyed watching outside of Wareham?
Man, I don't know. I like Orleans. I might be a little biased there, just with I got a connection over there, but I really enjoy going to their place. I think their field's really cool. All the lawn chairs on the field, on the side of the hill, is really cool. And then Joe Oyama is just a really special player. I think 2 home runs and a double against us the last time we were there. Just to watch him swing the bat is a lot of fun.
Broke his bat. So he struts back in now in a 1-1 count. First and second occupied with 2 out in the 7th inning as we wind down the season with the Gatemen and the Red Sox. Be a 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Chases the high cheese 1-2.
Has this summer for you, Steven, given you any direction or any idea of what you want to do when you graduate?
Totally. I think from a young age, I always, I wanted to play baseball for as long as I could, but when the playing days end, I knew I wanted to stay in the game, and I think this summer has only reaffirmed that belief for me. Just like I said, super thankful to be around a great group of players, coaches, interns, and it's made this summer a great experience for me for sure.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Yadi trying to add another run onto their total. Stroked up the middle. Fielded by Cologne. Steps on second, not in time. That's Gonzalez at short. On a fielder's choice, Brady Day reaches. Dub Gleed advances, as does Montgomery. And the base is now loaded. Faraday getting whacked around a little in this inning. Very weird play to make.
Yeah, for sure. I think Dorian's just got to come in and try to charge that one. If he lets it, hop on the ground, especially runner moving on contact with 2 outs, probably not going to get an out anywhere, and he experienced it there.
Here's Ryan Jackson, the righty. Big cut and a miss. 0-1.
What do you guys think of the white tops that we broke out tonight for the last game?
I love them. They're great. What do you think?
They look really cool. I heard from some of the guys they're a little bit heavy.
They are.
Maybe not something you'd want to wear every night, but definitely cool to break them out on the last night of the year. I kind of wish we wore them a little more this year.
We heard
they're cool.
They're pretty big too.
Yeah.
Dorian Gonzalez told me he's wearing an extra large.
And maybe the guys back then were just bigger than they are now. I don't know.
1-1 is low. 2-1. Well, Jack and I share a room at Mike and Mary's, and on their wall they have pictures of all the different players and broadcasters that have stayed with them over the years, and most of them, and we also they have media guys too, they're almost all these white uniforms, and Jack and I have been looking at them the whole season going, where are these white uniforms? Why don't we use them more? And well, I think it's fitting we finally get to see them before the season ends. 3 balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs. I know the players were kind of putting on a fashion show pregame, getting their picture taken. Faraday deals the ball, struck to right, out and in on it. Morton, and the inning concludes. We move along. Let's go to the 8th. Beg your pardon, the bottom of the 7th, our final stretch of the season. And we're going to keep it right here with Braden.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the Gatemen. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
One final stretch. Let's conclude the season when we come back. Welcome back. We are in the last of the 7th inning. Our thanks to Stephen Hunt and the entire slew of guests for coming on tonight and hanging with us on the final night of the season. Win Scott is in to pitch for Yarmouth-Dennis. A sophomore, or just completed his sophomore season at NC State. The first pitch is low for ball 1. The shift on big time as Dorian Gonzalez steps in. The lefty at the plate. The 1-0 low, 2-0.
Scott working with fastball, slider, and changeup.
From North Carolina State University.
Mostly goes with the fastball. It's more of a sinker for him.
Scott, the 2-0. Grounded right side and foul, 2-1. He made 7 appearances out of the bullpen during his sophomore season, 5 1/3 innings with a 3.38 ERA, 7 strikeouts. So not crazy numbers for him. Obviously trying to use his time on the Cape to earn some more work with the Wolfpack. He did throw in the NCAA tournament against Campbell through a inning and a third scoreless with a strikeout. 2-2 the count. Dorian Gonzalez out of Miami, standing back in. Takes low and away, 3-2. Gonzalez 0 for 3. Payoff. Ball 4. So he will get on potentially for the final time this summer. Ended the season on an unreal tear offensively. And now sets up Grant Sherritt.
He's got a hitting streak to extend still. I don't know, he'll probably be chasing the next time he comes to the plate.
Sherritt, the left fielder, singled, scored a run in the 6th. Cracks it hard and took a weird hop. Gets by the shortstop, Jackson. Give him a hit. 2 on and nobody out. Wareham trying to rally here in the 7th.
The scorcher, and this time of the year, for whatever reason, the Gateman infield has been, or the infield here at Spillane Field has been being very not forgiving. And it took a terrible hop on Jackson.
Yeah, I think we're lucky no one got hurt during intern BP today. There were a lot of ground balls.
Well,
none were hit hardly enough that they could have been a problem, but we should count ourselves lucky with that. Here's Hussey. I beg your pardon. Yep, it is Hussey. Strike 1. And Michael Brooks after this. The lefty takes in the dirt, 1-1. First 2 runners in this inning reached, Gonzalez and Grant Sherritt. Hussey an opportunity to bring at least one of them in, 2-1. Grant hitting .275. 4 home runs and 31 runs batted in. 2-1. Strokes a single out to left field. We're going to hold everybody to 90 feet. The base is now loaded. Grant Hussey with a pretty solid night to close out the season so far. He flew out in the first, but since then, 2 walks and a single, also has scored a run. So he's been tough to retire. Now Michael Brooks, who singled in the second, trying to do again here in the 7th inning and bring home a run.
Even the high school boys, too. Even the high school. How many times we practice on that? You can do little walkthroughs out there, but you should be practicing on.
Ball is low and out, 1-0. Third baseman out of Kansas. Two and out. Some folks still hanging around watching the final innings of the season. Again, the playoffs begin on Friday. Friday, game 1, Saturday, game 2, and if needed, Sunday is game 3 of the divisional semifinals. 2-0, 2-1. We know in the West Division, Katuitt faces Bourne in the 1-4 matchup, and Hyannis facing Falmouth in the 2-3 matchup. Should be a very stacked West Division in the postseason. Outside 3-1. If these scores hold and Orleans loses and YD gets that 1 seed back, YD faces Brewster, and Orleans will face the Harwich Mariners. 3 balls and 1 strike. Hitters count for Brooks. Swings through it. A late check and the count runs full. Three and 2, turns and throws. A dangerous throw. Jackson comes hustling in to get it. Payoff. Spoiled right side foul. Kids rushing down to get it. Good contingency on the YD side tonight. Pretty good crowd. Wareham has welcomed over 13,000 to Spillane Field this summer, averaging about 706 fans a game. Hard foul right side. From a broadcast standpoint, we couldn't be more grateful for the numbers. If they hold tonight, we're going to get over 36,000 viewers on our airwaves total this summer. We're averaging about 827 per game. Brooks fouls it into the glove of Bozo, and it's strike 3 for the first out of the inning. So now it's Jimmy Brennan. A big hit last week against Harwich. Ended up giving Wareham the lead. Was our player of the game. Swings and misses. It's 0-1. For the game notes, we did look at how many different players had won player of the game. We have 11 different players that were named player of the game. We name them after every win this summer. Called strike. The count 0-2. Very good, diverse group. David Glancy, Grant Hussey, and Bobby Bozer were the only 3 that won more than once. They each won twice. 0-2, low, 1-2. The bases are loaded with 1 out. Fouls it into the glove of Bozzo. And he's set down for the second time on strikes, brings up Josh Stevenson.
Right fielder, number 16,
Last chance for Wareham to score here with the bases loaded. Stevenson taps the plate, digs in for the left side of it. First pitch. Cracked, right side. Day shuffles over. And Scott works out of a bases-loaded jam, retires the final 3 batters he faces. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 3 left on base. 8th inning coming up. Wareham trailing 10-2. The finale on the Gateman Baseball Network.
Gateman fans, we are announcing a
Welcome back. We are in the 8th inning. Wareham
pinch hitter for the Red Sox is number 26.
and YD for the final time this summer. First pitch, low for ball 1.
Manny Garza pinch hitting for YD, the left-hander, or switch hitting catcher, I should say.
You're going to have Renee Lasters come in for the final few innings behind the plate. Swing and a miss, 0-2. And Jackson Reed's on the mound. We had him the other night on the air. Couldn't have been nicer to us, and we're very grateful to have seen him play this summer. Going to Western Carolina, the 0-2. Right side. Hussey wants it himself. Takes it for out number 1. G3.
Gateman, number 39, Jackson Reed from Western Carolina
This
University.
should be Theo Hardy.
And it is.
At this stage in the game, at this stage in the season, you got to double check every time someone's coming up.
11, Theo Hardy from San Jose State.
YD all smiles. Again, if the scores right now hold, they're going to the Cape League playoffs as the #1 seed. Oh, 1. 0-2. Hardy's had himself a great day. He is yet to be retired. 3 singles, a walk, and scored 3 runs. The 0-2. Great start to the inning for Reed. He retires the first 2 batters he sees and now faces Skylar King.
I think Reed is really fit to be in this back-end bullpen role. He was a starter this past year for Lenore Ryan, closed a little bit last year in the Northwoods League. I just think he's got the character. It's his mojo. It's his thing. He comes in the game, short stints. He's got a big-time fastball and a big-time slider, and you just got to, let it fly, and he's been doing that late in the game.
See a pinch hitter here.
It's number 3, Drew Cron.
He's out of UConn. Teammates with Corey Morton. 1 ball and no strikes. Drew only played 19 games during his freshman season. Mainly as a pinch hitter, so this is a very familiar spot for him. 2-0. 3-0. He's a Connecticut native, though. Our producer, Braden Schenkel, appreciate. He's from Xavier High School in Middletown, Connecticut. We get to mention he was all CIAC. He was all SCC and an all-area performer in his junior and senior years. 3-1. Ball 4. He was also quarterback. So Cron draws a 2-out walk. Here's Ryan Stafford.
Left fielder, number 7, Ryan Stafford from Cal.
A walk and a hit by pitch. His 2 appearances on base today. And now Stafford trying to keep a rally going. Ball 1 falls low. A 1 ball, no strike count with a runner on first base. That's Cron. Pitch is slashed right side, foul. Reed has pitched wonderfully this inning. Ran into a little bit of trouble last at bat with a walk. Trying to finish his summer out strongly. Breaking ball. In for a strike, it's 1-2. There's an animal in center field just beyond the bag there at second. I can't quite tell what it is.
It's a bird.
We've seen rabbits on the field. It's pretty much it. 1-2, fly, foul, right side. I was a little disappointed. Last year there was a dog that got on the field. There's been foxes. There was all kinds of nature. We haven't really seen that too much this year. The rabbit was pretty cool, though, and it happened twice in big moments of the game at Falmouth. 1-2, 2 down.
Oh, that's definitely a duck.
High and in, 2-2. He's just hanging out there with Wareham center fielder Bobby Bozer.
It's a good shot from our friends at WCTV. It's a good look at a duck.
Wareham brings in a 4th outfielder to conclude the season. The count's now full at 3-2. Though someone should probably have him play, more in right center. He shouldn't be playing straight up the middle. Bobby's got that covered.
Yeah.
There he goes. He starts to move a little bit more towards right center. The pitch is high for ball 4. 2 runners aboard. I don't know who he's going to bat for, but cross that bridge when we get to it. Bobby's now run over. He's taken flight. And he appears to be on his way to exit the field. Mean old Bobby Bozer just ran a duck off the field. Here's Braden Montgomery, who lofts one in the air left center. Bobby coming over, as is Sherrod. And it's brought in by the left fielder, Sherrod, to conclude the inning. Reed comes in, throws a pretty clean inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 left. Bottom of the 8th coming up on the Gateman Baseball Network. Welcome back. We are in the bottom of the 8th inning. C.J. Crone to center field.
C.J. Crone, he plays for the
I beg your pardon.
Rockies.
You're right. Different Crone.
Talking about Drew.
Yes. It's Drew Crone in center field.
From the University of North Carolina, Charlotte.
And Renee Lastris will lead off, hitting for Yadi Hernandez, the catcher. Yadi finishes his day 0 for 3. Ball 1. Renee likely getting his last at bat of the summer. A participant in the Home Run Derby. Hit a pair of home runs up at Harwich. 1-1 the count. He hit one all the way out in the bleachers, his only home run of the summer. Pops it right side. Foul territory. Dubgley can't chase it down. A home run and an RBI to his name this summer. Started the season with Florida. Now heading to North Carolina, Charlotte. 1-2. Smacks it up the middle. Oh, a great play. Over the shoulder, Day throws it away. So Lastris will reach. Oh, boy. Brady Day nearly made a tremendous play out at second base. He's going to get the hit. And now Byram Hott.
Byram Hott from Marist College.
Out of Marist College. One of those guys that 1 ball, no strikes. Might be invited back next year if you had to guess. It's a good chance you see him, if not in Wareham, somewhere else on the Cape next season, the way that he's been able to play with the Gateman in his short time. Swings out of his shoes. Don't be shocked if you see him on a Cape League roster. Smacks it to first. There's one. There's the double play. Yadi turns it, 2 down. That was perfectly executed. Lead to Jackson, back to Dub. 3-6-3 between Killing. Brings up Bobby Bozer. Bozer 0 for 4, still looking to get on base one final time. Quick conversation on the mound here. The entire infield coming in. They know Bobby has not gotten a hit tonight, and he's more than due.
And they're also going to the pen.
They will go to the bullpen. Let's take a break, tell you who's coming out of that pen in just a moment on the Gateman Baseball Network. Connor Podeswa comes in relief for the Red Sox. With Scott going first pitch, a strike to Bozer. 0-1 the count. We're waiting on a final line there. Podeswa out of Tufts and a native of Waterford, Connecticut. Fires outside, 1-1. Scott goes an inning and 2/3, giving up 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. Ripped left side and a base hit for Bozer. He will end his summer on a high note, hitting in his final game, a base hit. It is 5th at bat of the night.
From the University of Miami.
Brings up Dorian Gonzalez.
It's a cool story for Connor Podeswa here making his YD debut. His dad, Chris Podeswa, was a longtime YD assistant and is still on the UConn coaching staff for Jim Penders.
Outside for ball 1.
So like father, like son, it runs in the blood for Yarmouth-Dennis.
He just finished his sophomore year at Tufts. Started 10 of 14 games. A 3.77 ERA through 57 and 2/3 innings. and led the team with 53 strikeouts. That put him 5th in the NESCAC. He's a NESCAC guy.
Well, Tufts is in the NESCAC.
2-0, 2-1.
So I thought for a minute that Connor Pedezzel was going to be the first guy that has played against my school, Washington and Lee University, that we've seen here on the Cape. But he, in 2022, pitched 2 days prior to Averett University, fellow ODAC school. Tufts did play Washington and Lee on the 24th of March, 2022.
Foul back, 2-2.
Which was my birthday, which is why I remember it.
There you go. You mentioned the UConn connection. His sister Sophia is on the track and field team at UConn. And he retires. The only batter he sees in the, the second batter he sees in the inning, sets down Dorian Gonzalez on strikes. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. Top of the 9th coming up from Spillane Field. Welcome back to Spillane Field. We are in the 9th.
Designated hitter number 16, Casey Cook from UNC Chapel Hill.
Leadoff hitters Casey Cook out of UNC. First pitch to swing and a miss. Wareham and YD battling in the final game of the summer. YD, a lot of offense, 10 runs on 12 hits, Jack. They have hit the ball very, very, very well, but Jackson Reed has kept them to a minimum. Now it's an 0-2 count.
Yeah, we started this broadcast saying that Enzo Apodaca and RJ Austin not with the team anymore because of injury. Austin's still here, actually, but he's been released. But they have a ton of star power, too, still.
1-2.
I mean, King is a guy that can really be a leadoff hitter for him. Showed it in the Appy League. Stafford, USA guy. Braden Montgomery, USA guy. Hunter Hines leads the team in home runs. That's the first 4 in your lineup.
Level count. Clearly, power will not be an issue with them coming to the playoffs. Pitching as well. They have had a tremendous night on the mound. Wareham has, had a couple of solid moments, but overall, Wareham has just struggled at the plate against this YD pitching staff. Reed not struggling there. He gets a strikeout to start the 9th inning.
He's been rock solid, and it's a shame he didn't get here earlier in the year. They could have really used his services in the middle part of the year in July, but it's been really great to have him around. Not only is he a great pitcher, but he's a great guy as well. Looking forward to tracking his career next year at Western Carolina.
Doug Gleed takes high and in for ball 1. It's a chilly night. The pinch hitter, Ostrander, in a 1-1 count. Garrett Ostrander out of San Diego, California. A 1-2 count. He plays at California Baptist. He's appeared in 7 games this summer with YD. This will be his 8th. And Reed starts in dominant fashion. Back-to-back strikeouts. He set down 3 in a row.
Good slider. He's fastball slider most of the time, and he just brings it.
Bench hitter for the Red Sox, number 12, Xander Darby from the University of
And
California,
now
Santa Barbara.
they will continue to clean out the bench with Xander Darby. Xander takes ball 1. Xander, mainstay traditionally in this YD lineup. Two balls and no strikes. Out of Palo Alto, California, plays at UCSB. This will be his 35th game of the summer. The 2-0 lands in the zone at 2-1. Comes in with 3 home runs, 15 runs batted in, hitting .286 for the Red Sox. Expect him to be a big part of their playoff run. Ball drops in 2-2. Again, their first playoff game Friday. If they win and New Orleans loses tonight, it'll be at home against Brewster. Otherwise, at home against the Harwich Mariners. Strokes a base hit to right field, and Darby with a 2-out single. Darby reaches. Ryan Jackson coming up.
Shortstop, number 6, Ryan Jackson from the University
He will
of
not be
Southern
hit
California.
for. As Reed looks to close out his summer in style. He struck out first 2 batters in this inning, and then Xander Darby came off the bench and ripped a single. First pitch, ball 1 high and in. One 1-0 rather, swing and a miss, 1-1. A ball and a strike, 2 out, and a runner on first base. Here's the pitch. Swings through it, 1-2. Reed stuff working for him in this 9th inning. One ball and 2 strikes. Reed steps forward. Just misses high. Everybody, including Renee Lastris behind the plate, thought that strike 3 call was inevitable, but instead, everybody called back for another pitch. 2-2, 2 down. Deals. Fisted foul on top of the YD dugout. Rolls right over to WCTV's camera positioning over there.
Our buddy Ken down there.
Yeah. Enzo Apodaca looking for it. Just died, 3-2.
That's RJ Austin.
I bet your partner, RJ Austin. He's been very active. They all came out to congratulate Hunter Hines on the home run. He was one of them. Flown to right, and it's caught for the final out. If that's the final pitch, then a Gateman player throws this year, so be it. Jackson Reed ends with 2 scoreless out of the bullpen in F9 to conclude the top of the 9th. Wareham trying to rally in the bottom of it. Let's keep it rolling on the Gateman Baseball Network. It's the bottom of the 9th inning here at Spillane Field. Wareham getting their final at bat to the summer. Xander Darby's at first, and Ostrander goes to second for the Red Sox. Sherrod, Hussey, Brooks, the 3 to hit in this inning. Ball 1 away. I beg your pardon, strike 1. The righty takes inside level count. One ball, 1 strike, base is empty. Wareham trailing by 8 in the 9th. Outside, 2-1. Fans have stuck around. The most loyal bunch here for the final 3 outs of the summer. A high fly ball lifted left field. Back and gone. Grant Sherrod ending his summer in style. A home run to make it 10-3. Sherrod just hit his 3rd home run of the summer. He was a late addition, but boy, has he packed a punch.
Another guy with a strong finish who hasn't been here for a long time, but you just get the sense has gotten a lot better. And he put a big swing on the ball. He's one of those guys that if he's playing up in the bigs in a few years, I would not be surprised. He's a big guy, has such a great swing, and has played really well here this summer.
Here's Hussey. Strike 1 called. Hussey trying to copy his namesake there. And Grant Sherrod, 0-2. Or name mate, I should say.
I was about to say, you know something that I don't?
Grant and Grant have spent a good amount of time these last few weeks batting back-to-back. 1-2 the count. Hussey has reached in 3 of 4 at-bats, 2 walks and a single. 1-2. Bounces in front of the plate. 2-2. Bedezwa in his 2nd inning of work. 2-2. Hussey swings through it. First out of the 9th inning.
Third baseman, number 5, Michael Brooks.
Michael Brooks now at the plate. The first pitch to him. Strike 1. Fouled off the plate. A 2-strike count. Oh and 2, 1 out. Ball spirals out of control. 1-2. Two ball and 2-strike count with 1 out. Swings through it. And Wareham down to their final out of the summer.
Good curveball right there. Had some good downward depth to it. Good spin on it. Brooks going down fishing for it.
Jimmy Brennan, the righty, at the dish. Trying to get one final hit. Fooled. 0-1. Rolled left side. Cut off at third. Hardy, a wonderful throw. And YD wins it 10-3 as the 2023 Gateman season comes to an end. Just an unbelievable play at third from Hardy to close things out. And Wareham unable to come up victorious in their final bout of the summer.
It's a big bounce back win for YD. They had a tough show of things yesterday against Orleans. There was doubt about whether they were going to be able to take the division today, but all around great showing. Pitching, they were great. They pitched when it mattered, which was big, and then they hit the ball extremely well.
All of our sponsors who have supported us all year long. Thank you for a great season.
Just an unbelievable summer coming to an end. The first of the Ryan Smythe era. Saw a number of different players make an impact at the end of the season. Certain areas of success, but couldn't quite make that jump to the playoffs. But a very good base laid out for the future of this team. We will have a Gateman Baseball Network player of the game. For one final time, it's Amanda and Grant Sherrod. Just had that great home run to close out his summer. Amanda?
And now by Grant Sherrod. And Grant, in your last at-bat with the Gateman this season, you hit a home run, and you called the home run earlier in the game. How'd that feel seeing it go out?
Oh, it felt good. You know, I've been trying to hit a pull side home run all year, and, you know, it's kind of become a joke. And I said, hey, watch this. I'm going to do it. And, you know, I did it. So it felt good.
And unfortunately, the game tonight didn't go the Gateman's way, but what does the season playing out here mean to you?
You know, it meant a lot just to have the opportunity to come out here and play at the best, you know. I mean, I'm from a small school, like I've been saying, and it's been a real pleasure getting to play with these guys and get to know these guys. So.
Do you feel like you were able to prove something about yourself being out here?
Yeah, for sure. That I can play with anyone, hang with anyone. You know, it's been a great opportunity.
When you think about this summer, what are the things that are going to stand out to you, do you think?
You know, you got to show up and you got to work hard if you want to, you know, have a long career in this game. And, you know, I think that's been the biggest learning point I've learned this summer is that you got to show up if you want to play with the big dogs. So.
And what are your favorite memories that you're going to have with the team, with the guys out here?
You know, just showing up to the yard every day and just grinding together. You know, it's a great group of guys, and, you know, I'll keep in touch with them probably for the rest of my life. So it's good.
Grant, thank you. Congratulations on a good season. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And Amanda, thank you. Wonderful work on the sidelines all summer long as we bring you back upstairs for one final time this summer with Jack Hunter. I'm Aiden Blanc on the Gateman Baseball Network. Very quickly, YD comes away victorious 10-3. The offense kind of just fired. There didn't seem to be anybody except for maybe Jackson Reed at the end who could shut it down. Not much you could do about that. They were just hitting the baseball very, very, very well.
Yeah, just constant stream of hits. I mean, their first 4 innings, they had 5 runs on 8 hits, and they kept it going. Hunter Hines obviously had a big home run. They ended up scoring in 5 out of their 9 trips to the plate. This is a big bounce-back win for YD, and they showed why they're a serious contender to win the championship. They hit well. Even though they've lost 2 All-Stars coming in today, they still have a star-studded group, and you got to give a lot of credit to Scott Pickler and that front office. When a guy like Pick, all-time winningest manager in the league, he has his relationships with college coaches, and he's pulling talent in here even late in the year.
YD 10 and Wareham 3 to conclude the 2023 season, and that will conclude our 2023 season. Again, over 36,000 of you have enjoyed our broadcast, be it live or on demand, home or on the road, however it be. It's been a pleasure, and we can't thank you enough. The amount of folks that have come up to us and said, you know, thank you for doing these games. We can't get to them, but thank you for doing them anyway. You know, it makes our day. We don't do it for that, but it really puts a smile on our face when someone walks up to us and says, you know, you guys are going somewhere.
Yeah, and I'd just like to say a big thank you to my family back home. I'm sure Aiden shares the same.
Sure.
And family and friends for supporting us throughout this journey. I mean, for the players, it's very much of a kind of a journey of a village per se to get them here, and it's no different for me. I feel like I can speak on behalf of you as well. The support that we've gotten being up here from everybody tuning in and supporting us to get to where we are, and a big thank you to our crew as well. The people downstairs with Wareham Community Television, and also Rachel and Braden, our producers, who just did so much this year. I mean, I can't even put into words what they've meant to us this year to make us look and sound the way we do, and make us look good, because it takes a lot to make us look and sound good on the air.
Thank you, of course, as well to the great people at WCTV and Rachel and Braden, the folks behind the scenes, running the cameras, running the cables, helping us out all summer long. And organizationally, the first big thank you is going to be to Mike and Mary Chaplin. Mary's back there. Mike's probably closing up the concession stand. We did not have to pay. Well, we did pay, but we did not have to find our own housing this summer, thanks to them. Living with a host family, it was an unbelievable experience. Excuse me. We can't thank them enough. Opening their home to us and to Amanda, and at one point to Bobby Bozer. There is very little that they don't do for this organization, and can't thank them enough.
Yeah, and then they've been huge. They've been a big part of this experience too. Being away from home for a long time, they made Mattapoisett or made Wareham feel a lot like home, and just this organization in general. To all the guys on the board, our boss Jay, it's been great for us this year, and just going to be leaving here tomorrow with nothing but fond memories.
Yeah, Jay Spinelli, our director of media, he's on the board. Big things in his future. We've loved our little production assistant, Sebastian. I don't know. Jay was just coming from Monday Night Sailing. I know or Wednesday Night Sailing. Sebastian's on vacation, so I know he's watching us. So, thank you, Sebastian, for keeping a smile on our faces the entire summer. The entire press box crew over here, all of the game day staff, the baseball ops staff, they've really been an invaluable asset to us. And really, everybody within the organization and within the Cape League, we've had so many unbelievable experiences here. We did the All-Star game, getting to go to Polar Park. It's a summer that neither of us will forget anytime soon.
No, for sure. I mean, I think we've said about all we can say. This is just a dream come true.
And, of course, thank you to everybody who watched our broadcast, 36,000 of you coming through and at least tuning into a few moments of us this summer. We certainly hope that we could do our jobs and bring you Gateman baseball in 2023. Thank you to the amazing Gateman organization. We will see you in June of 2024, the next time that the Gatemen play in year 2 of the Ryan Smythe era. With Jack and our entire Gateman Baseball Network crew, our sideline reporter, Amanda Foster, and, as always, my broadcast partner, Jack Hunter, saying so long for one final time. Blank, this has been Wareham Gateman Baseball on Wareham Community Television, the Gateman Baseball Network, and D1Baseball.com. Thanks for joining us in 2023. Have a great night, everybody.